Yes, play, man. How you doing, my friend? I hope you're doing well. Ron, what is happening, my friend? I hope all is well with you, brother. And whenever you feel comfortable about putting up that video on that West Tone guitar, we'd love to see it, man, because you probably are the only person that I've ever met that actually has one of those guitars. And hopefully, if you ever have to sell it, try to get as much for it as you can, man, because I haven't seen them in a while. Bumblebass, what is happening, my friend? Jimmy Biter, what is happening? I know, in response to Ryan Lieber, what is happening, everybody? No way. I finally was able to go live. The weather's nice right now. The video I put up yesterday, I mean, that wasn't the worst lightning storm we've had. And actually, just before I did that video, it was worse than what was on the video. But when we got down here in 2017, man, I have never seen the sky light up like that. Holy crap. But it does affect us going live. And that's the problem. So, we are still moving forward. We have a gig next Saturday at the restaurant where the lady came up and told me to stop. And she's wearing a company shirt. Old man Dan, what is happening, my friend? Yeah, I know. Oh, yeah, Ron, hey, no, that's fine. That's fine. You know what? If you're working hard and you got other things you have to do, life comes first, man. But I'll tell you what, when you're ready, man, go ahead and put those videos up because I'll watch it. Damn right I'll watch it. Give you that support, man. Yeah, so yeah, you remember what that gig I did where the lady came up with the company shirt? Well, we're playing back there Saturday. We're inside, so I'm getting all my videos together to spotlight you guys. Got that hour segment in there. And like I said, you'll see yourself on the screen, but so is the audience. And it's something that I really do want to do in my live shows. Because again, there's a lot of good talent out there, and I'll tell you what, a lot of people, this is the perfect time to do stuff like this because they're so desperate to have music, anything, come back, some sense of normalcy, And Ron, if you put anything together, man, I'll put your video up there. Damn right I will. So, but yeah, we're gonna move forward with that. Yeah, thanks, Mama Best. It's just something that I think it's cool for the fact that you guys are putting good stuff up. Why not share it with everybody, And I'm able to do it with the gear that I have. The thing is, the only way you could do it with a live band is if you have the band. There's actually two ways you could do this. If the live band with drums takes a break and then you got that segment, then you could pull it off. If you're going to have it with drums, either have electronic drum set so you could turn down, you could control the highs from the cymbals, or if you could somehow damper the microphone either on your camera or on your phone if you could stream live, so you don't hear that high hissing with the cymbals, man. Because I get together with a drummer friend of mine down here, and I already did some recordings. You're gonna jam along with? Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna learn the songs and I'll jam along with it. But basically, the emphasis is on you guys. And then I am gonna start putting up like jam along tracks where I'll just play the rhythm. And the videos that you guys put up, you can put melodies and solos and sing whatever the hell you want to do. And if you see me a little bit on the side, I'll just play the rhythm. So it's actually more of spotlighting you guys. Because I mean, it's a good thing to do to get people to hear other musicians. Janice Lala, what is happening? You're gonna be on the playlist too, Janice. I'm gonna actually work with that F sharp minor jam that you did because there's a lot of cool things you could put in there. Just writing one chord, there's a lot of cool things you could put in there. And of course, Joe Winch, the Joe Winch Project, he's got some stuff I'll put up. Absolutely. Old Man Dan, you definitely, my friend. Definitely. Like I said, as long as I get everyone's permission, hey, because this gig next week, it is what they call pro bono. I'm helping the club owner out. He's been so good to me, and I figure it's good to pay back. You know, good people. It's good to help them out, man. So, and there is an interest in it because when I was doing this before, when we were out doing our gigs with Mike, I would have you guys would be audible, but people were like into it. Randy Tritt, what is happening, man? Randy, I'm gonna try to hit as many as you guys as possible at these live gigs. So all these live gigs, this is not just gonna be a one-time deal. This is gonna be an ongoing thing. So what's really cool, there's so many of you out there. I could, kind of alter the schedule, and it's not gonna be any one more important than the other. So everyone's gonna get a fair shot, and um, nobody has to. I'm not looking for sponsorship. Nobody has to sponsor. I'll tell you what, it's good to sponsor people like Metalhead Hippie. It's good that he does the sponsorship. If people want to send in for that, great. You send the money there. Or the girl from we're trying to bring awareness to her channel, which in the music community at least, exploring the local life. She's got a huge RV channel. So people who that and Old Man Dan. We'd like to see people start contributing to Old Man Dan. He's doing BMX for autism. So that's where I'd rather see people's money go in the important things in life. As much as I love this, and it is a sweet looking guitar. It's my passion, It's a blessing from Almighty God. There are more important things in life, and I'd rather see those dollars and those funds go to the important things in life, But you do what you want with your money. I'm not gonna tell people what to do, Um, but I think it is a really cool thing. Yeah, Buck Lester, yeah. Why was that like? Oh, well, she was drunk. And here's the thing. I was not going to get in a dispute with her. I went the first time. Actually, she came up twice. And when I watched the replay, and I had both cameras, so even on my other camera, I seen her. She came up and she's kind of getting into it. I was still playing "Stairway to Heaven." That Led Zeppelin song. I can't remember the name of it, because of copyrights. But, so she's in her zone, and there's no drop. Thrash metal and funvers, what is happening, brother? We're also going to be spotlighting you too, man. And you know what? We'll see how far we could do with the covers. But I'll get onto that a little bit in a little bit here. So I think what happened with that lady when she came up, she was, yelling. Maybe she wanted me to play another song, But it's sad that she had. Oh, thank you so much, man. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. But this lady, she gets up and she's acting obnoxious, and she's wearing a company shirt, and I'm like, man, yeah, I need to revamp my channel and the way I do videos. Yeah, you could do that. You could do that, Dan. Whatever you feel that is best. But I'll tell you what, man, I like what you're doing. I love what you're doing, man. It goes over well. It goes over well. Yeah, this Janice Lala. I wonder what happens when you give money to sponsor. I really don't know, Janice, and I really stay away from all that. If I were to ever do something like that, I would want to at least show proof that, hey, this is where your money is going. But I know what you mean, because we've heard horror stories, and we've done quite a few benefit shows for homeless veterans and all kind of cancer. And I mean, some of them were on a smaller local level, and there's been a few that have been on a huge level. I couldn't believe I was in these people's, in these functions with these. They were superstars, but not in music. They were superstars in sports. And since I'm not a sports follower, I know who Ernie Banks is, and all that. And I know it's kind of laughable, and Walter Payton and all that, and of course Michael Jordan. But I don't follow sports enough to know these people's names. And when I see them, oh yeah, you're so and so. There's quite a few, but I'll tell you what, the two that really stood out the most was, of course, the Kentucky Derby. And when we did that gig, they were also doing a fundraiser for the horses that they retire from racing, so they could put in an area where they actually take care of the horses, because I never knew anything about this. But what they were doing, Those horses that once they're done racing, they send them off to whoever, whatever farm, whoever, they do what they want. If they want to slaughter those horses, then that's up to them. It's their business. So this organization stepped in and said, well, wait a minute. These horses still have some life in them. Just because they can't race and you can't make money off of them does not mean they couldn't have a home. So, and that's when we got invited to the VIP party with ESPN. And I told Deb, I says, you got to be kidding. These people were asking me questions. Some of these people, they play guitar. Just because they're in one profession doesn't mean they don't play music. So it was bizarre. They were coming up to me like, I was the celebrity to them. And it was, I'll tell you what, my friends, it is very, very bizarre when you recognize people, maybe you don't know their name, but you recognize them, and they're talking to you like they want your autograph, or they're so intrigued in what you're doing. It blows my mind. It blows my mind because I am nowhere near the level of those people, as far as their star status or anything like that. So it's very difficult to digest. You know what I mean? It really is. But another one we did was for Lucas Oils. That was another benefit show, raising funds for cancer awareness. And we were in the guy that owns the Indiana Colts. We're on his property in his grand clubhouse with a full basketball court. And I met the guy, and I didn't even know who he was. So it's weird. But other than that, you do wonder, where does all those funds go? You really do. And I understand where you're coming from, Janice, because there's also been horror stories where people would say they need money and they really don't. And that's sad. I try not to get involved, but see, you don't know. That's just it. Let's see. Yeah, if you can read between the lines in my comments. Oh yeah. Let's see. I'll definitely check that out, Janice. Yeah. I wonder what happens when you give money to sponsor, and then you stop giving the money to sponsor. Do they stop playing your stuff? Oh yeah. See, I don't get involved in any of that, Janice. That's why I don't ask for anything like that, man. Sorry, man. I do not ask for anything like that because, um, I think Metalhead Hippie, he's doing a good thing, and and here's something, guys and gals, or gals and guys, always put the ladies first. Um, People are helping other people's channels, like remember EJ's Guitars was doing that, um, because they start to see sometimes people's channels, no matter how good they are, for whatever reason, they get shoved in the corner. And I think it's a good thing to help, say, hey, wait a minute, man. Let's be fair about this and let's get everybody an opportunity, a fair chance. If someone's got a huge channel, well, maybe they don't need that extra help. But if they do, then that's fine. If they're good to you, that's fine. But it's yeah, and you've seen this, these people with these, you know, almost a million or over a million subscribers, and then you leave a comment, or you try to get on the live chat and you try to comment and you try to friends, not that you're trying to ride their coattails, but maybe you'll give feedback and say, hey, Mr. So and so or Mrs. So and so, love your stuff, love what you're doing, and what do you think of this idea? I'm trying this. And it's not that you're trying to push your channel. You might want to get feedback from somebody that's professional, or they claim to be professional. And next thing you know, you're shoved in the corner like you're so insignificant that you don't matter. But then they turn around and they ask you to hit the like, share, subscribe, and donate and all this. Well, why should I? If you're gonna throw me in a corner, that's fine. I mean, hey, more power to you. But it's a two-way street. So that's why, and you know what, my friend, that's why I'm doing these things. And another reason is simply because, let me put the camera up, just my experience dealing with people in the live circuit. You have a lot of good people. You have a lot of good people. You have a lot of good people going through the same things. But I'll tell you what, man, I've dealt with some of these people in person, and I just hold my ground. And I'm not afraid to walk away from a phony deal, or even some place where they want to treat me like I'm dirt. At some point you got to say, you know what? I cannot allow myself to be so desperate to do something that they're going to make a clown out of me and like try to put me down and laugh at me and all this other crap. when, you know, the only way they got there is they bought their way through, and that's fine because everything's fair game in business. But I think what happens is, you don't have to be a super shredder or a virtuoso or anything. Just be a kind person. How hard is this? If someone says hi to you, say hi back. At least have that decency. That's what I mean. And this thing is, this very interesting comment that you bring up, Janice. And I'm not trying to, signal in on your comment, but yeah, because a lot of people, I've seen videos in the past where people put these videos up and they'll say the exact same thing. They feel like they're just like not even important. And then so why should you donate to them and do what you want? But those people, maybe this is first time in ever or first time in a very long time they're getting some sort of recognition, and they're letting it get to their heads to the point where their heads are exploding, and they're just their ego is just exploded, and now it's all about me, 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 me. And when you have to show your credibility, you do have to mention your achievements, Nat, so people could see, okay, this person is legit. But some of these people, it's like they go on and they don't even have the decency to say hi. Um, Michael, what is happening? I really appreciate you tuning in, my friend. Yeah, I've supported something like that once a year, and this is Thresh Metalheads and whatever. But yeah, ain't paying no $20 every month. Don't you see exactly? Everyone has their own lives they have to deal with. And this is what I mean. And this is another thing where you'll see someone. Oh, thanks. I appreciate that, Mike. Yeah, some channels are like pay to be my friend. Yeah, Buckluster. Yeah. See all of this. Nobody has to give me a penny to be my friend. I am no. I don't like that because to me it seems phony. Now there's a difference between helping your friends out and let's say you do want to build your channel and you want to invest money. This is done in business. See, that is legit, and we could all understand that. And you could even see within that realm when people are being phony. But it's these people that, I'll give you a shout out. Depending how much money you give me is going to determine how much of a shout out I give you. If you give me $5, then you get so and so give me $5. Oh, anyways, what's happening out there, right? If you give me $10, then I raise my voice a little, 20 and 100, then boy, next thing you know, you're the only person I'm talking about, and I got pictures of you all over the wall. Of course, the more money you spend, the more pictures. You know what I mean? I don't get into that, man. Don't see what happens with those people. Let's say this whole platform shuts down. They put themselves, pigeonhole themselves in this little corner, and now their whole mindset is brainwashed into their own beliefs of thinking like that. Then they go out into the real world, and then they bring those habits with them, and next thing you know, people in the real world are going to say, what the hell are you talking about, man? Give you what? What, you get your ass out and get a job? I ain't giving you jack shit, man. I don't mean to swear, but I'm just telling it like it is. Just telling it like it is. So, but again, if a person wants to donate and if they want to do that, that's their business. I will never tell a person what to do with their money. I'm just saying no one's got to do that for me. Yeah, he plays pretty much anyone's vid who asks. Yeah, when it comes, yeah, for Metalhead, he does. And you know what? There are times I don't get on because on Sunday, it's 10 o'clock Eastern time, our time. And there are times I get up early and I try to sit in as much as I can. That's why I try to do this early. That's why when I do these spotlight gigs, it's going to be like early 2 to 3. Now, next week, I'm playing 3, I think maybe 3 to 5 or something like that. I'm going to nail down the time and I'll let you guys know. And this is something here. Let me grab this other camera. So, in the event when I go live, and next thing you know, it's buffering and you can't get on. Well, I got a chip. I'm going to record it with this. So, and then I'll load it up. And you'll still see yourself without any buffering because I don't have to worry. I don't have to get online with this. And I know it's a much different way of doing things. It's old school, analog slash digital. You know, it's old school. But the point is, you're gonna see yourself, and what you see, because I'm gonna have the camera facing the screen so you can see that. Yeah, just just like how Metalhead Hippie does it, and how EJ's Jams was doing EJ's guitars. But see, they got nice computers and they could do all that. I don't, and I'm not computer literate, so I got to do it old school. But it's gonna be still on a nice screen, and what you see, the live audience is gonna be seeing. So, and again, people need to see new music, and I'm thinking, well, even if they want to see covers, they could see you guys doing it, and it's a way of me jamming with you guys without you coming down here. You know what I mean? Let's see. Oh man, I don't ask for subs. I don't ask. Yeah, for thumbs up. Dan, I noticed that. I don't. Yeah, I don't ask for support. I just do what I do, and if people see, that is the great thing. Dan, on my other channel, and I have said this before. I had no clue how to comment to comments or anything like that, and we had that channel. We still have it up there. Just Dave Byron. From, I'm going to say, the first video was posted up October 2006, where I'm playing the Star Spangled Banner with the BC Rich Warlock. Yeah, well, you have a, yeah, that's, yeah. And the same was with you, Janice Lala. Just put your stuff out. Because you see, the thing is, people, sooner or later, people are going to be able to see, as time goes by, who are the beggars, the phony balloon, and who are the people that are just being honest, being real. And what's going to happen is, time is going to move forward, whether we like it or whether we don't like it. It's going to move forward. And if you accumulate, let's say for myself, I'm going to use myself as an example. If I were to be an arrogant prick, and since 2006, when I did the Star Spangled Banner with the Warlock, and the competition with Dean Guitars, I'm playing like a million miles a minute, and I'm doing the Flight of the Bumblebee on the acoustic, a million miles a minute, and I'm jamming in other people's face, and I keep constantly asking, well, you gotta give me a thumbs up. You don't have to do anything. You don't even have to like it. You could still be my friend. But could you imagine, over since 2006 to 2020, accumulating all that time being arrogant and egotistical? That's going to be a long amount of years of cleaning up that mess. Now, the people who do that, if they would just say, you know what, my God, what am I thinking? What am I doing? And concentrate on their talents and just being a good person. Yeah, people will still they'll have that, a funny vibe saying, you know what, I don't trust this guy. Maybe he's lying at. So over a course of time, when they prove themselves, it's like, wow, they really did make a change. That's great. Star Spangled Banner was the first video I put on YouTube. Yeah, when you did that with the bass, man. That was awesome. Yeah, that really was awesome. And you know what? Speaking of bass players and drummers, we did this show, God, was it 2009, 2010? I have video footage of it, but it's on our Canon HD camera with the digital videotape. So I got to find a way. That's how long that was. Like I said, 2010 maybe it was. And there was a show we did with Joe Stump. If anyone knows Joe Stump, he's now doing something with Grand Bonnet, who actually they resurrected Alcatraz. So there's a song called London 1666. That guitar player in that video, that's Joe Stump. Yeah, we did a show with him. But my friend's band, and my friend, he's the one that got the gig, all lined up. But in one of our friends' band, their bass player, and I think it was, Kevin Buck's band, his bass player had a guitar synth hooked up to his bass. So when he did a bass solo, he was doing all this really cool stuff. And let's see, with all the technology we have now, if I was a drummer and I couldn't put a gig together, now maybe I'd get laughed out of it. Who knows? Yeah, this sucks. Get out of here, you know? Hey, at least I tried, right? But when I see these electronic kits and then I see drummers how they're having a hard time, I mean, some of them are not, they're doing stuff on YouTube and they're making money off it. Great, good for them. But the ones that want to play live, you know how it is when you put a band together, can't make it practice, can't do this, can't do that. And if I was a drummer that I really want to put something unique out, I'd take that electronic kit, I would work every way to change the sounds when I need it and put a show together with it. Could use live looping pedals and that, and it would be a drum show. Now, maybe two people, I'd have a sellout of two people, right? You try it. If it doesn't work the first time, maybe try it a few times, and then something clicks. But it's being creative. And if you think about it, if anyone knows about the Blue Man Group, they basically have a unique show, and they're also drumming on PVC pipe. Now, I'm not trying to tell people do something like that, unless you want to. What I mean is, don't let someone else tell you you can't do this, where maybe in the back of your mind you might say, well, that's not a bad idea. No one's doing it. You know what it is? People are afraid to go out there and try it because they're afraid of getting laughed at. And even if you get laughed at, my dad used to tell me this. He used to say, if you go out and do something and you fall flat on your face, at least you're moving forward, get back up and continue to move forward. Because if you're passionate about something and you believe in it, and you start noticing here and there, you're picking up people, you're picking up fans, you're picking up people here and there that they say, hey, this is a cool idea. Well, then that's your fan base. And then you have your show for that particular fan base, and that could grow. You see, I think what it is if the old analogy is that if when Elvis Presley went out there and was wiggling around, and if they told him, no, you can't wiggle around, you gotta straight and stiff, like this, we wouldn't have what we have today. So there are times people have to make that they have to make that they have to take that chance, and sometimes it does not always go good, and we're all have experienced that. But there's nothing worse than you let your life go by, you let time go by, and you look back. I wonder what would happen if I would have, should have. At least I would have tried it. So what if it would have been a failure? But I would have known from the experience, rather than someone saying, "No, that won't work. No, this won't work." And in the back of your mind, I wonder what would have happened. See, I never want to be that person. Never want to be that person, because you might be inspiring other people. You might help open up doors, and maybe they won't do exactly what you're doing, but they might get inspired by seeing you take that chance. And even if you fall flat on your face and everyone laughs at you, again, time goes by, and what was considered crap then, they're kind of like, well, maybe that isn't too bad. I mean, look at it. You know what I mean? A good example is effect pedals. I just watched a video earlier with Robert's Guitar Dungeon, and he did a demo of the Screaming Blues pedal, and kind of, he did the demo of the Boss BD2 Blues Driver pedal, and then later he did with all the other Boss Overdrive pedals. But today I saw this video, and I happen to have that same pedal. So the opening of it, that's what I'm using. I'm going through the Fender Hot Rod Deluxe George Benson. I don't want to get too much on a tangent because I want to pay attention to what you guys are saying on the chat here. Yeah, I feel 90% of the guitar channels, Old Man Dan saying, are overproduced and designed to get subs and Patreon support, and about 10% are here for the love of playing music. Yeah, that's yeah. I feel the same way, Dan. And there's nothing wrong if there's a sector of people that they want to build it as a business, totally understand. But what I don't understand, these are the same people that think about it. They're investing money, whether they're buying expensive cameras, expensive laptops, expensive standalone computers, whatever. They're spending money and they're trying to get the channel to grow, and then they'll turn around and they pick and choose who they want. Now, minus people who are just acting up. That's totally different, but that's a different subject. But you could tell when people are being honest, when people are trying to be polite, when people are trying to enjoy it, and then it's like they piss on these people. And I'm thinking to myself, do they have a brain between their left and right ear? Is it even active? Well, yeah, they got all this expenses. They know how to do this, that. Yeah, but they don't know how to the basic common courtesy of being polite to people. Because how in the hell are you going to get people to watch your content and support you if you're trying to show that you're better than everybody, and even worse, you don't even acknowledge that they even exist? But don't forget, hit the like, share, subscribe, Patreon, do this, and I'll give you a little shout out here. Gimme, 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 but without even giving any respect. That doesn't work. That doesn't work for me, and I'm glad it doesn't work for a lot of people out there. And this is what I mean. As time goes by, what's their legacy going to be? They've been standing peeing on people and then turning around and begging for their support. Oh, but you don't understand. I got all this to pay for. Well, get your ass and get a job then. Buy it yourself, man. Don't treat people bad. You know what I mean? Yeah, and started my channel more like an archive. Yeah, an archive, and if anyone else is inspired, exactly. Do you know, guys? I'm glad that you're saying all this, because yeah, and always get back on your horse. Well, yep, absolutely, Michael. Don't let anybody hold you back in life, because you see, they only do it because they're jealous. You know, the funny thing is, they could have 20 cameras and was it 4K high def, where it's like I'm virtually there, and sound beyond sound. And that's great to have. But if their content is poor, it's not going to hold my interest. I'd rather watch people that are just honest. It's like you're there with them, because that's the experience. And Michael, when you even said that, and Thrash Metal Riffs and Old Man Dan and all you guys, when you said, yeah, you put your videos up because you love to, my other channel, I had no idea what the hell I was doing. I was just putting up videos up. And a lot of it was due to these weddings we were getting. And so we had to put up something so they could contact us and say, hey, could you alter this a little? Or could you try this and that? We had no idea. And some of those videos got a whole boatload of views and that, and I appreciate it. But I really had no idea. It wasn't until I started this channel, and that was by mistake, when I figured, oh, I could post up a video from my phone. Wow, look at that. So that's how I got this channel going up. And when I call it the term Rocking Dave, was actually a friend of mine that used to call me that. When we lived in the last apartment we lived in before we moved down here, I had a wall of my guitars hanging up, and he was one of the service techs. He'd come in if we needed something. He'd see the guitars. He'd see me going together. Yeah, Rockin' Dave. So it's more of a tribute and dedication to my friend back up in Aurora, Illinois. That's what it really is. So let's see. Yeah. Also, it's like personal challenge to have a reason to first get back to the level I was at in high school, then continue to learn more. Absolutely. Thrash metal, absolutely, my friend. Everyone has and has had the opportunity to excel, their talent. But life gets in the way. And there is nothing worse than seeing somebody, and I'm not trying to disrespect anybody, but I'm only going to say this because I had friends in person tell me, I have to make it. I can't do anything else. Well, you better learn how to do something else, because if you think that you're going to always have a supersonic career with this, be prepared to have those downfalls, and it's a saturated market. You know what I mean? It's like I'm going to open up a hot dog stand amongst other hot dog stands. Well, I better have a lot of money, or even worse, a bar. I better have a lot of money, to float that boat. I really would need a lot of money to float that boat because it's, the restaurant bar industry, a lot of people will tell you is, I would say it is the second worst industry to get into. And I don't mean to say this to disrespect our industry as a business, but this really is probably the worst business to get into, as a business where you are solely dependent on making that money only from playing. And I am not trying to discourage anybody. If you could do it, go ahead and do it, but always keep in the back of your mind, everything you make, you want to put it aside, because when it goes down, you're going to have ups and downs like any type of a business. But the difference with music is that it's a want, it's not a need. And you know what? Unless you're going to go into music therapy, which is a really cool thing to do, you can definitely do that. But you got to also keep in the back of your mind, if you're going to get that idea, how many other people are going to get the same idea? You know what I mean? So there's always competition. There's a competition in every business. But what I mean is, people who've played out, you know what's going on with the clubs. You know? We want you to play an extra, now instead of 4 sets, we want you to do 5 sets, but the pay goes down. And, then we want you to learn everything in every other key, it's ever been written, But we don't, and we want you to bring in the best of gear, the ones who do know about this stuff. We have these demands here, then we want you to turn down. But we want you to bring a full band in. And we don't want electronic. I'm only saying this for the people who do know about the gear. Yeah, those electronic drum sets, they sound phony. Bring in a real drummer. Yeah, nothing beats an acoustic drum set, and nothing does. We're gonna have you play from 5. Well, no, we're gonna have you play from 6 to 10. But 7 o'clock, turn the volume down because there's gonna be, 7 o'clock, turn the volume down because people are gonna be eating. But we still want the drums. How come you're not playing intensity? Well, I don't know. Especially with acoustic guitars. Because an acoustic guitar, you can turn the volume down, but you still have the sound hole. So you walk in with the electric guitar. That's nice and quiet. That's quiet, right? But then you walk in with the electric guitar, and they'll say, but I don't want no electric guitar here. I hired you for an acoustic act. Well, then you bring out the acoustic, and then you try to play low. Well, how come that guitar is too loud? It's like, man, just make up your mind. Do you want music or don't you? It's yes or no. It's how hard is this, See, a lot of them, they don't know what they want. And I really think when they're in that situation, they need to talk to the musicians. They really need to get the feedback. Not the prima donnas, because we know there's prima donnas out there. And I understand these club owners go through that. But talk to the musicians that, they really are trying to give good, positive sound advice, sound feedback that could not only help the music scene, but it could help the club scene, and everything goes hand in hand, Just a thought. Yeah, I wish I had videos of me trying to play Puff the Magic Dragon. On my fishing pole. Oh man, that would have been hilarious to see. Twang, twang, twang. I hear you, Mike. You know something? Michael? There's a video of Buddy Guy where Buddy Guy talks about when he was a kid, how he learned what he would go through because he wanted to play guitar. He said the story. He would take a wire, like a fishing wire, I think it was, and he would put 2 nails on the wall and then have it, the wire dragged out. So he'd have 2 nails, and I guess he would wrap it around and bring it down and wrap it around, and he would control the pitch by how tight it was and just pluck on it just so he could get as close to playing a guitar as possible. Then he goes on in the story saying when I guess a friend of his of the families would come over and they play guitar. He brought a guitar, and the only way he was able to really play with the guitar is they would also drink, and when they'd get too drunk, they'd pass out. So then he'd grab the guitar and he would play a little bit, So it was really a funny story. But I'll tell you what, a lot of it is very, very true, man. Yeah, that was YouTube. Yeah, that's why that's what was made for. Yeah, you know what? You're absolutely right, thrash metal. And I honestly, I could be wrong. I definitely could be wrong. But I think the term YouTube is instead of basic for the general public to share like their videos. Prior to all this, I think they still have this TV show, America's Funniest Videos, and people would submit, and so maybe someone got an idea. Wow, wouldn't that be cool if we had a social platform where everybody could put up their stuff and everybody could share? So maybe that's how this whole thing with YouTube got started, and that's what it was really meant for. Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right. Michael B., what is happening, my friend? Thank you for tuning in. I hope all is well. Jim, what is happening? Jim Guidry, what's happening, brother? I appreciate you tuning in, man. Yeah, I had a kind of an interesting day. Of course, I had to go to the store, and of course, I don't know what these stores, man. You can't come in this way, you can't get out that way. But they used to have the registers open. Now you gotta like they're hog, like they're like cattle. Nope, you go this way, you stand in line, and then nothing works. I miss the days when you go to the store and the cash register would go ding, and the drawer comes out, and you with the money, paper money, and then you had the brown bags and everything. To me, it seemed like it was a flawless system. This electronic crap, when it breaks down, you got to call the person that got hired like yesterday, who doesn't even know how the hell any of this works, and they're trying to figure it out. Then they got to call the the manager. Then she's got to get on the blower with the general manager at the other location, in the next town. It's like, can you just please ring up the groceries, please? Is this right? This is not rocket science. I miss those days so badly, man. And I've gotten vocal at the store a few times about it, and people look at me. And some of the older people like, yeah, that's right, man. This electronic crap doesn't work, Next thing you know, then I say something, they say something, then we got like a little posse going, our own little crowd here, like protesting, I guess, if you want to call it that. And even some of the people, the older people come by and, to help fix with the register, they even say the same thing, this thing doesn't work half the time. So I mean, it's like they got it half-ass working and they're selling out to the public, but it's half-ass. It doesn't work. Why do I want it if it's not working? Here, you release it when you know it's working. When it works, great. It's like these clowns that want to give you a car that you don't even need a driver in it. Are you kidding me? Well, you don't understand. We got these sensors here. Yeah, and what happens when the sensors go off? And then there's like mass, killings. A car just ran over a whole group of people, downtown in a big city, boom, just levitated. The cars, it's driving over the bodies. You hear the bones snapping and popping. Not working, my friend. Adam, what is happening, man? Yeah, let's see. Definitely same as a football player. Yeah, race car driver reviewing their tapes. Yeah, just see that. And this is the whole thing that's really cool with YouTube. You could review everything, And back in the day, as you all know, we used to always record ourselves. You get the little either the Sony boombox or the Emerson, the double cassette boombox, and you put the 90-minute tape. You get 45 minutes per side. And of course, sometimes you go to Osco drugstore or Walgreens, and they get the 3-pack of cassette tapes, and you just pop it in. There's your jam session. You record everything. And of course, it sounded like crap, depending on where you put the boombox. But it was something that you could gauge your progress. That's the whole point. And there's been a lot of times I've heard my friends tape. They would just do like a boombox recording, and okay. Tape is hissy, it's a little bit in the background, but the music would be like so awesome. And I would listen to it because I wasn't there to judge how good the sound quality is, because I know what it is. I was there to hear how well the playing was. And again, it doesn't have to be virtuoso play, how well they gel together. That's great, and that's what I like about YouTube. I started to share guitar ideas with co-writers. Yeah, you can see my playing get a little better over the years. So it morphed into, yeah, that's exactly Michael B. Absolutely. Yeah. PGH live jams, what is happening? Yeah, everyone's doing well. Thank you so much for tuning in. Oop. That's the clean sound on the Fender. Now, let's see. Yeah, we're doing all right, man. We don't have any storms yet. Last night we had all those lightning storms. Too bad, get a kite, wet my finger, and put it on the metal rail. It's crazy, man. Yeah, I was going to open mic nights for a while before, COVID, and never got to actually participate. Can't wait till, oh man, I hear you, Mike. Yeah, Michael. Yeah, I hear you, Michael. There are some places that are opening up. Dwight Bailey, what is happening, man? Yeah, I'm glad you putting up some really cool stuff up there, man. Like I said, I'm gonna be grabbing everyone's videos again with your permission and just spotlighting and be like, we will be jamming together down here virtually, but in front of a live audience, man. And the club owners, they're like, man, it's a great idea. How come no one thinks about these things, And it's because for me, I'm just so simple minded. I just like, okay, well, why not try this, or try that. And then I remember when I get on these, I call them the super channels that are like with this very small little s, not a big S, uppercase, like, not even just lowercase, but the font is real tiny because you see they're super in their mind. They may got all kinds of subscriptions and prescriptions, but because they ignore, people and they want their, subscription, all that. So anyways, I remember saying, hey, what do you think of this idea? I got this idea and I put it up, and because, being new to writing the comments down and all that, a few years back, you get the idea that, wow, this is so cool. You want to be friends with everybody. You want to share all your ideas because in your mind, that's what you think it's for, right? So just to get some good positive feedback, whether they like it or whether they don't like it, at least it's something, right? And they ignore it, like, oh, yeah, that's a good idea. No, just be honest, man. That's all. Does it suck? Okay, then you could kind of evaluate. Maybe there's a reason why, and I'm not looking at. He's seeing it from a different point of view that I'm not seeing. So what's the reason? Because it's only going to help me out. Nothing, absolutely nothing. So I'm like, you know what? Okay, that's when you do the unsubscribe. You don't block them, right? You unsubscribe, and then you move forward, and you just continue to move forward, and you move forward, and you get busy. You keep going, and then next, you could tell when they're watching because all of a sudden you got all these views, and you're like, okay, too bad you couldn't track all your views, because I bet you if you track all your views, you're gonna see the people that were kind of putting you down. They're on there watching. And that's what it's for. And it is there to inspire people. But then they run back and then they try to steal your idea or whatever. And they could do whatever they want because I'm not the only person with the idea, right? But they devalue everybody drastically. And that's why I'm like, okay. But they could still be my friend if they just, That's all you do is do a turnaround. That's it. So, but yeah, that's why Jimmy Biter was happening. Jimmy, you got some killer stuff, man. Yeah. Again, putting it all up on YouTube. Let's see here. Yeah, high failure rate of restaurants, 5 year, yeah. Unless you make killer pizza, you know what? Big, yeah. Oh, you know what? Here, let me answer Thrash Metal's question. This is actually it is a great what do you call it, Dunlop grip? It is a 1.5. Yeah, it's a 1.5, and I checked out these blue ones because for whatever reason, same thing. I guess they call that max grip. The pick on these gray ones, for whatever reason, I would wear them down a lot quicker than on these blue ones. Um, And when I play, I play with the tip of the pick. I think what it is the pick slides, because there are times I'll do that. Now I have it on an overdrive, so so a lot of that, it's gonna scrape the pick. But when I do my speed burst, it is with the pick. I mean the tip of the pick. Let's see here. But yeah, what you said, Jimmy Biter. If once you make killer pizza and you got a niche, and you know that, hey, even if you're in pizza town, especially if you're in a college town, before coronavirus, right? People were going out. They want to get drunk. They go here. They go there. They go here. They go there. They go here. They go there. It's incredible, you know. But I was talking to the guy at Educators Music. This is the music store. When I did that outdoor live thing, and it was the music store with the cafe, and that was a few Saturdays ago. Let's see if I could do a couple of those again, if I don't have any shows coming up. Shit, I forgot what I was going to say now. Well, what he's got really unique is he's got the cafe and he's got the music store. So that helps him big time. But he was trying to get more of like a festival going on in the parking lot. And I told him, I said, that'd be great. And, he was saying about, you get some of these places, they don't open up to the musicians because they're trying to guess what their crowd, they're trying to guess what their crowd likes, okay? I could be crazy. I really could be crazy. But if a person wants to bring back the days where we had actual music, not just venues, but even the clubs that had specific styles of music. And I mean, I understand they need to make money. So, but it's when they emphasize live, and of course it's real big, like flashy, live music, yes. And it's the same stuff that the other karaoke band did, and I play the tracks too, so hey, I'm in that same category. But it's the same stuff that the last band had, the exact same songs in a different order. And then, God forbid, if you come in and try to do something new, no one's going to like it. They use a blanket statement. Nobody. That's like me telling, like Jimmy Biter, and Jimmy, he does a lot with like the Satriani stuff and thrash metal fun riffs. Nobody's going to like metal. Nobody's going to like the guitars with the flares. Nobody. Nobody listens to metal anybody. No more. Okay, if that's the case, then when you pull up, and I do pull up these like power metal on YouTube, symphonic power metal, and they get all these views, and there's people putting comments. How come they're getting views if nobody likes metal? How come the Ibanez guitars and the BC Rich, well, BC Rich, I guess they're trying to come back, but LTDs, the metal looking guitars, how come they will still sell? How come Fender, the Mustangs, and the Marshall Codes, and whether you like them or not, or the Helix, let's go big. Let's go the Helix, right? $1,500, $1,600, $1,700. How come they have patches of the Plexi, of the Mesa Boogie, triple rectifier, and all these high gain amps? If metal is not important or nobody, then how come there's a market to sell it? You see, this is what I mean. These people don't know what they're doing. They really don't. And now I'm not saying that for them running their restaurant, they don't know what they're doing. In the music sector, maybe the others try. There used to be a time where jazz would be on Sundays, maybe blues on Monday. Maybe even try something like a Saturday or a Friday, or early Saturday. We used to do all ages on Sundays, however you want to separate, or let's go for a Saturday. Saturday is a good day, right? So if you think that metal is dead, well, why don't you bring back maybe metal earlier in the afternoon, right? And then have your pop stuff that you think everybody loves on a Saturday night. And then watch what happens. Now, the only thing I will say, what killed a lot of the clubs back up in Chicago, the club owners, I don't know, they're called like some of them, not all of them, but some of them, they were like the nutless wonders. They would let people do a mosh pit and they destroy the whole place in the bar, the restaurant. Things got destroyed. Okay, no one says anything, right? Well, okay, I understand you don't want to see your place get destroyed. But at the same time, if you emphasize certain rules and regulations, otherwise we pull the plug, I think, people are going to abide by it because not every metalhead is an idiot. But that's how they think. There's the majority of your metal musicians, and I'm talking about not just your professionals and the majors. I'm talking about the people that are working their day jobs and that are very intelligent people, very smart, very polite people. Just because they like metal and play metal and only metal doesn't mean that they're a bunch of idiots. You know what I mean? And they understand there's a thing called a volume. It goes up and it goes down. I mean, it's crazy. But I think what would happen is these restaurants and these clubs that want to emphasize the music part of their restaurant are going to really do well, because when I was talking to a couple of guys yesterday, they even said the same thing. They walk away from some of these places like, screw you, man. You just how you want to treat me, adios. And I've had in-person meetings with some of these people, and I'd be polite, but I wouldn't let them jack me around. I'd walk away and say, you know what, you're biased, you're full of crap, and if you could hate me, you could whatever you want. You could watch me take business somewhere else, and I hope you don't go out of business, but you ain't getting a dime out of me, because they make the big mistake that musicians are not just there to try to get a gig. And yeah, we want to make money, but if you treat us good, and sometimes you can't always bring a crowd, but if you treat us good, we're going to turn around and treat you good every time we can. We're going to say, hey, when someone comes to visit, this is the place you want to go. We'll bring you business. You have a night off, you and the missus, or if you're married, if you're a female, you and your husband or boyfriend, whatever. You want to go out, you could go out to those places that the people have been treating you good. It's a win-win situation. But you see, when they act snobby and they use the blanket statement like everybody's a crook or everybody's a prima donna, they shoot themselves in the foot. Because always remember, musicians are mobile. We go anywhere. They're stuck to their brick and mortar sticks and bricks building. They are stuck, period. And I hope they have success. But if they don't, they might want to kind of look at how they are treating people. Because I had these conversations with some of these people down here, and up north too. I remember one time this one so-called booking agent, I went right over his head, man. I talked right to the owner and then the manager. See, this is the manager. Well, I do the bookings. Well, yeah, but are you signing my paycheck? Well, no. Well, let me talk to the owner. And I even had this conversation with this guy down here. I'm on the blower with him. I says, hey, I could meet you at your place within, I don't know, 45 minutes, and we could sit down face to face, and we could work something out. And if it doesn't work out, that's fine. Not a big deal. I said the reason why I like doing that is because I like meeting with the owner, because the owner signs the paycheck. It's the owner's flat out has the final say. You sign the paycheck. Oh, well, he tells me like this. Oh, well, not all the time. Well, then wait a minute. You mean to tell me your manager is signing the paycheck? Is the manager paying me out of the pocket, or is it coming out of your pocket? If you own the restaurant, club, whatever, it's yours. You're the one paying me. You're the one paying the manager, and you're the one paying me. So why don't I just go right to the source? Boom. Cut out the middleman, go right to the source. Well, when I did that, he didn't know how to answer that question, because he thought he was talking to yet another dumb, long-haired guitar player. You see what I mean? And he had no idea that a lot of us, this is not the only thing we've ever done in our life, although we've done a lot of this, but we've also worked jobs, and some of us had businesses, So, doesn't mean that we're idiots, and it doesn't mean that we're better than anybody. It's just so we kind of know the name of the game, And we get these people that try to jack you around like you're stupid or something. I'm like, okay. And we parted ways. I said, hope the best for you and that, but I ain't gonna chase you. But the guy back up in Chicago, I went over his head and I talked right to the club owner. The club owner says, "Yeah, I'll give you a gig, no problem, Dave." Next, I'm doing the gig there, and the booking agent was scratching his rectum and sniffing his fingers, figuring out, "Gee, how did he get the gig?" Well, you're jacking me around, dude, and your name is nowhere near on the club where I want to play at. So does it make sense to ask the guy that owns the place? It's like you go to Guitar Center or any music store, and you want to see a specific guitar, and you want to buy the guitar. You want to find out, hey, well, chances are you're gonna have to go through the salesperson, not the guy that just walked in off the street that doesn't even work there. He might tell you everything about it, but he can't sell it to you. He doesn't work there. You got to talk to the people that work there, or you got to talk to the people that own the place. It's real simple. But you see, they make it like it is more than what it is, and I just laugh at some of this stuff because it really is funny. So then, like I said, we're doing these spotlight jams. Now, it gives to some of the club owners, they're saying, this is actually a good idea because now I don't have to worry about copyright infringements. And they still have to pay in for the one guy, has a list, and Deb's seen this before. We saw the list of songs, we have to go through, ASCAP, BMI, and CSAC, and all these other organizations pop up to do the covers so that they pay in and there's no trouble. I saw a couple of videos, and not just a couple of videos, some people down, at the music store talking. Well, we should have fair use to this and fair use to that. And I do understand, because I will also do covers. Okay, I'm not exempt from this. But let's really look at it for what it really is. We don't own that material. We really don't. And it'd be like me saying, I go to this bank, Deb and I, we go to a certain bank, and we've been going there for years. So next time we do a little withdrawal, throw in a couple of extra bucks in there, not out of our account, out of your account, because we've been doing business here. So I feel that I should be entitled for you to give me a couple extra bucks. You can look at me like, what are you talking about? Or because if I go to a certain gas station, years and years and years, giving them business. Hey, I feel you should give me free gas because, hey, I've been giving you business. See, this is what I mean. They're going to look at you and say, I can't do that. And this is what's happening with the covers. A person will say, hey, if I don't want you to play a certain song, I don't give a damn what this guy tells you about fair use. I'm the owner, and if I say no, it's no. You could take me to court all you want. I'll whip out more money, and let's say let's say that this is really good. Judges are people too. Maybe the judge played piano. Maybe the judge secretly is a rocker, a closet rocker, right? But then, he couldn't, just didn't pay the bills. So they become a judge. They were also interested in law. You don't know who people are. So then you go to court and you're over there, and I'm not saying you guys, but you get a person that's having a hissy fit because I think I have the right to play whatever I want because I bought all the records, I bought the books and everything else. And then the judge says to you, you bought the music, the sheet music to learn the songs. Yeah, I should be able to play it. Okay, here, I have one of those books too. Let's open up to the first page. And way on the bottom, it'll say unauthorized use of any kind on the internet, live, any kind is prohibited. Yeah, but that should be fair use. No, it says right here. And guess what? And even teaching. Now, I know this also applies to teaching because there are a couple of books that'll have in the style of, and that's how they were able to get around to give an example. But I've seen and heard a lot of people say, how am I supposed to teach if I can't teach you a song? Well, why don't you make one up, man? Here, let me help you. Here, you got 3 chords. A D, let's say a C add 9, and a G. Put a little rhythm to it. Now, I know there's probably 20 songs already that uses D, C, or C add 9, and G. G, can I kind of come up with a rhythm It's not this song, it's not that song, it's something I'm just making up and to use as an example to come up with a little riff. That's teaching. When I hear these people they got degrees, man, and they're trying to tell me, well, you don't understand. Hey, don't have a degree, and I used to teach. I used to also teach special needs, and I would use examples. I'd have one friend from high school. I do all this. I make stuff up on the fly, just like Old Man Dan and Dave Simpson and a lot of you guys out there. You're making stuff on the fly. It sounds cool. It sounds great. A friend of mine would come for lessons. He said, "Oh, what song is that?" I said, "I don't know. I'm just making it up." And then you get some of these people to tell you, well, if you don't know what you're doing, then see, you're not really playing music because you don't understand this formula or you don't understand that formula. And see, you're not doing it right. And oh, by the way, see, that's not really a song because see, you have to understand you got to take this songwriting class and that songwriting class. And you know what I hear when people tell me that? You have no talent, but you give me the money and keep giving me more money. And then I'll spoon feed you a little here, a little there. Meanwhile, you go out and play, let's say on your front porch, and your neighbor across the street. Oh, that sounds good, man. And what do you tell your neighbor across the street? No, you don't. You can't praise. You can't clap. You can't. I'm gonna sell a CD. You can't buy it because it's not professionally recorded and it's not really a song. Because see, I'm paying this guy that told me that that's not really a song because I don't understand music theory here now. I mean, what's wrong with these people? All they do is they push people down. Now, in their defense, if you want to understand the whole structure of things, absolutely. That's to understand the structure of things. And I give them a lot of credit. They deserve the credit for their hard work. It's when they turn the tables and want to tell you and me that, oh, so you can't do that. I wouldn't do that because it's not really a song. Well, how come this guy across next, he's drunk? And that's what you're going to find at the bars if you could do a bar gig. They're drunk and, dude, crank it up, rip off the knob, sounds good to me. And then you got a tip jar and they're throwing 20s in. You mean to tell me I'm going to tell those people, I can't take your money, sir. I am sorry. I'm selling a CD, but I can't take your money because you see, I didn't go into Studio A. I went to Studio D because that's all I could afford. I mean, this is what I mean. That's why I speak out so boldly against it because these people are so full of crap. You could smell them right through the internet. You could smell them. And I might get myself in trouble with some of these people. And you know what? If I ever get a chance to meet them, if we go to this function or that function, I'm going to be polite to them. I'm not going to say, you know what, that video, no, to hell with it. And if they want to dispute something I said, they could go ahead. And yeah, I said, well, that's just my opinion. I was still, like how I handled that drunk lady coming out. I could have really been a jerkwad and say, get the hell out of here. What the hell's wrong with you? I ain't playing anymore. I'm out of here. No, I didn't do that. That's really not my personality. My personality when you push the buttons and want to corner me and tell me I can't this, that, and the other, and we're the ones spending our money, hey, you ain't telling me jack. If you want to give me an opinion, and maybe it's something I should check out, absolutely, and I will not dispute that. But when you get these people that just come out of the woodwork, man, yeah. Yeah, Jimmy does rock. A lot of you people out there are you know what? What makes you guys and gals so good out there is your honesty. I really think that prevails far more than technique. Technique is always good to have, but I mean, come on. Do you want to start playing, a million miles a minute with your toes? If you want, that's great. It becomes a good act. Hey, but don't do it because you're trying to put someone else down because the sincerity of playing will always prevail over a person that claims that they're highly intelligent and knows more music theory. But yeah, they just graduated college, maybe 2 years ago, and they're in their 20s. Or maybe even their 40s or 50s, like me. I was not around in the 1800s. And when I used to play at the Bristol Renaissance Fair and I did my research on the Renaissance music, tablature was around in the Renaissance period because it was a poor man's way of communicating with each other. Because back then, if it wasn't the Pope or the King and Queen or somebody of very high status that would hire you as a musician, you're a peasant, you're on the street, good luck. You were not educated. That's how it was. So the so-called uneducated people found a way to communicate with each other, you know. Um, but getting back to like this copyright infringement, fair use, if people still want to do that, God bless you. Continue. If they say, you know what, this is getting out of hand, let's open up to the public. Let's be fair about it. Then I'm all for that. I'm not saying anything bad about this. The only thing I will say is how bad it has hurt the music industry. And when people will say these blanket statements, and there's some pretty popular YouTubes out there I've seen make these statements. So and so, they made millions, they got billions. Maybe they did, okay? Millions. Maybe they're not in the billions yet, but they made millions. But they made their millions maybe 30 years ago, okay? Or maybe they're still got some, income coming in. But I do know when the digital free downloading and the piracy, when it really got rampant. And then all of a sudden, all the record stores disappeared. There's only very few of them out. It's not like it used to be. You go to Coconut Records, Crow's Nest Records, Tower Records, Rose Records, and any type of record store that was a chain outlet, that was a standalone building. Sometimes you call them head shops, They might sell T-shirts and other things, but their primarily sales was in records, cassettes, 8-track, CD, and then you'd had lists, metal section, power metal, jazz fusion, blues. It was a record store. They're gone. And they're gone because they cannot stay open, because what has happened is very obvious what has happened. And then because of this, people have lost money. And even though we might think that, oh, they made all this money and they're constantly, the well never runs dry. Well, let me tell you, the well does. Sooner or later, the party ends, the well does run dry. Because if you think about this aspect of it, they got these mansions, these behemoth mansions. I paid it outright. I own it outright. Yeah, but you still got property tax to pay. Then they got like 7 cars, nothing but high end, of course. You have maintenance on the cars. Then if you have a boat, you got maintenance. Oh, guess what? The 60-year-old something is going to have a kid from the 20-year-old something, right? Well, guess what? Nothing but the best for the kids. And if you're spending money and now you see a depletion of money coming in, and now with everything on hold with the gigs and tours, no money's coming in. Very few, to the point where if you go out and someone wants your autograph, that'll be $20 or $120. You're selling your autograph. That's called desperation. That's called something has badly happened. So this is what I mean. And it blows my mind when so-called highly intelligent people get on this kick, the entitlement kick. I'm not saying that it's fun for the play. I'm saying they almost get to the point where they're like crying, like crybaby jackwagons, and I should be able to, damn it, this is not fair, and they're gonna do this, that, and the other. Are they really considering the other people who's also lost money, minus their blanket statement that they think they still have all these millions? And you know what? Even if they still have all those millions, if the same person that's crying about it had the exact same opportunity to do the exact same thing, they would. They would. That's why they're trying to pump up their channels to make as much money as possible. But here's what's happening with this platform. We're not employees of Google or YouTube. We don't financially own the platform. So therefore, if they say, guess what, we're going to demonetize this video, we're going to demonetize that video, here's a claim here, here's a strike there, what are you going to do? You could spend what money you have and take them to court. But if they have more money than you, they could hire better attorneys that they look and they grab the magnifying glass like we used to burn the bugs, in the summertime. We were dumb kids anyways, But they look and they figured out, that really fine print that's in gray type that you hardly see? It does say this. However, this is subject to change, or this does not hold in a court of law, meaning you could debate it all you want, but the person that owns the material at the end of the day has the final say. That's why on the back of like CDs and things like that, it would say copyrights, all rights reserved. You know, anyone that's ever had to do this, we've done it with our CDs. Deb, she knows the whole process. You send it to the copyright office, and they send you a form, and you know it's now it's legit. Now you're registered. So if someone does try to steal your material, you could take them to court legally, and you could say, "Hey, I am the owner of this said material." You know what I mean? I am not a lawyer at all. I don't even try to pretend to be one. But there's this thing called common sense, and it's just you know it's sad that this does happen because a lot of us we'd still like to play our covers, and a lot of you guys, man, you played them incredible, you know. And it's not you guys personally out there that are belly aching. Some of them, you know, they think it's very uncool that this happens, but honestly, you don't have a leg to stand. But there's people out there that, and I'm not just talking on YouTube, people that I'll run into, and they want to dispute with me all they want. And I says, you know what? I respect your opinion and I understand. But let's equate that to let's open up a restaurant together. We'll team up. We'll be business partners. You go halves, we'll go halves. And we're going to open up a restaurant and we're going to use these golden arches. I don't know. What do you think? We'll call it McDonald's. Yeah, I'm Irish. You're Irish. We'll call it McDonald's. And we don't get that permission from the McDonald's Corporation. What are we going to tell them? Well, it's fair use. See, I'm Irish and I like hamburgers. And besides, we've supported, we even have stock. We have, shares of your company. The CEO is going to say, that's nice. Thank you for your support. However, you're using our name. You're making money off of our hard work. Go make up your own name. And they're going to be 100% right. And I'm not trying to act like people are dumb out there, but some people, maybe they are. I don't know. Isn't it something? Yeah, it definitely. So, but yeah, like Adam Bruce, or let's see, I'm sorry, Adam Bruce. Yeah, open mics, Michael, are great. Yeah, they are great to play. You know what? I'm glad you guys are all talking about this, and I've been blabbing. And I apologize, my friends. I really apologize. But it can be a Emma. What is happening? Emma, thank you so much for all your support. We'll be putting up more tutorial videos, and you know what? This is for everybody out there. Never feel ashamed or, geez, should I put this? I can't really play the song too well, but I'd like to put it up on YouTube. You could still put it up on YouTube and gauge it as your progress as you go. But you know what? There are times I've experienced this when I was teaching. I would show students things I couldn't do, and then their confidence level would shoot up, like sometimes better than something that I'm showing them how to do. Because it's not so much that the fact that they made a breakthrough. Oh, I could do this now, or sorry, or something like a string band. But if they see me making a mistake and they're like, ooh, he's not Superman. I'm not Superman. It gives them a confidence that I've never seen some students get so much more confidence than when I would play left-handed, and I am 100% uncoordinated, and I don't apologize about it. I am uncoordinated, and they see something I cannot do, and then at that moment they could do something better than me. It gives them this lift, and really that is part of teaching. Getting the students to build up, or getting your friends, giving them that confidence. Hey, there's things that after 46 years of playing, there are things that I still cannot do. So it's okay. We're all in the same boat. You know what I mean? I would rather inspire a person like that, and let them know that, hey, I'm on your side. You don't have to be a super dude or super dudette, a virtuoso, because you as a human being matters. You see? That's what I mean. Watch what happens with some of these people on down the road. You know, there's going to be another generation coming up. If YouTube stays, or if YouTube decides to, if it does fade away, there'll be another company all picking up, because this whole platform is just great. I don't think it's going to go away. But what's going to happen, another generation is going to come up. They're going to start seeing it for what it is, because not every, we've had, in every generation, we've had smart people and we've had stupid people. So, and I'm guilty of doing this too, but I started thinking about that. No, you know what? I'm wrong for thinking that every millennial is stupid, because not every millennial. There's more smart millennials than there are dumb millennials. But you know what? I was born in 1963, November 1963. So if I'm not the last part of the baby boomer generation, I'm part of the first part of the Gen X generation. But in every generation, you've had smart people, you've had dumb people, you've had people that would act up. This is, it's life. So you're gonna see another generation of people coming up, and they're gonna start seeing, man, what are these people talking about? They're making other people feel like they're unwanted. I don't think I even want to check out these people's channels, man. They're like, I get on, I say hi, and they ignore me. So okay, fine, adios. you know. The music that is in today is that electronic DJ. So yeah, it is. You know what, Buck Lester, when we were doing the DJs, we kind of pissed some of these DJs off back up in Illinois. They would say, well, here, this is what happened. The DJs took over for having live, whether it be at a wedding or whether it be at private functions, or even at the clubs. They started taking over the live bands and the live musicians. So, of course, we get pissed off, right? We're losing work. We're losing money. So, one of our first DJ gigs, and how I started getting this idea, they hired me to play at these weddings, classical guitar, dinner music here, and then there's the DJ. And I started thinking, you know what? I'm watching the guy, he's got this gear. Of course, everyone's got QSC, and they're great PA systems, don't get me wrong. Okay? But only the musicians and the other DJs who do that are going to care, because the general public that's there, they just see a big box with sound coming out of it. And the more they're drinking, it gets less and less of a thing, as long as they could go out there and have a good time. Now, I'm not saying go out there with just a bunch of little tweeters like this and you think you're going to get the dance floor moving or anything. You might, who knows, everything's subjective. But I was watching this. I said to Deb, I go, look, we got PA systems. Look at these people. They're making money off of this. I said, hey, some of these songs I used to play in the top 40 band. How about we do this? I don't dance. I don't sing. I'm so uncoordinated and got such a horrible voice it ain't even funny. But I could play the guitar. At least I think I can. I don't know. What do you think, right? So I said, why don't we try this? We'll do a DJ with a live musician, whether a piano player or a guy who plays a kazoo or whatever. I just happen to play the guitar. And we'll find out what these people are charging. And it's very simple to find out, because a lot of these people, they do a lot of this, And that's when I dummy up in my ears like Mr. Spock ears. And I listen and I digest all the information. It stays in my brain. I write it down. And it is fair game in business, because it's what everyone else does. That's how they got themselves there. It's when you try to steal their business. That I don't do. No. So I said, yeah, why don't we try that? Okay. So we start compiling old school on a Tascam similar to this. Let me go get the Tascam out. Hell with it. Let me go get the Tascam. I'll show you exactly what we've done. Oh, shit. Sorry. I'm not hooked up to the pedal. I'm hooked up to the fender. I'll be right back. You're gonna love this. So these are old. They still make these. They make different versions of them. Yamaha's made them. Zoom has a few of these. It's these little recorders on an SD, right? Do you know that you put an SD card in here, you got it locked in? I could lose the internet signal all I want, and I'll still be able to play the music because it has a headphone jack, and I could run it into a mixer. And I push play, and the music plays. We've seen a DJ. We did this wedding gig with a DJ. He had no backup system. I mean, this was incredible. No backup system. We're finishing up the dinner hour and playing all the nice music, you know, guitar music. And he's over there, like in a distance, not about maybe 15 feet away from me. Oh, what am I gonna do? Oh. He tells his partner, "Hey, do you got the connection? Oh, come on, man, no connection. We're going to be starting in 15 minutes. He had no backup system. I'm watching this. I'm shaking my head. I'm thinking, dude, how in the hell could you go out there on something because someone told you, yes, we got free Wi-Fi. Nothing ever breaks down. Never, ever, ever breaks down. And you charge these people maybe $1,500 because he's the DJ, right? Oh, now, I know I'm getting a little bit, maybe almost sarcasm here, but this is what I've dealt with these people. And this guy, he's hitting the pan. I'm feeling bad for him because if he doesn't get that music up and running, hey, could you get the guitar player to play a few more? And of course, when the money's there, we try to work with people's budgets. But when we know they got the money, we also need to get paid too for our work. We really do. You can only degrade yourself for so long. You can only do so many favors for so many free favors. And at some point, hey, we also need to be compensated. You give us a couple of $50 or whatever. We want to work with you, but we don't want to be doormats either. Suckers. Finally, this guy got it going. Oh, he was sweating. Oh, holy crap. And then the music was nice. It was real nice. So I told Deb, that's why I don't rely on this crap, because it's proven not to work. But as long as I got batteries and I got backups, and we got 2 of these, you get maybe 2 or 3 of these, and we got a backup with the same music. If this breaks, we hit to channel B on the mixer or channel 2, and the music hit cue it up. Now it doesn't give you the title. We literally had a book. We wrote it down. It's old school. Gets the job done. Don't have to worry about the moon intersecting with Venus, The job gets done. They're having a good time. We get extra money. But what we did is we gave them a good price, because here's the deal. These people want to save as much money because they're not just paying the musician, the DJ. They're paying the photographer. They're paying the event coordinator, which Deb took over for a couple of weddings we did, because the event coordinator didn't know what the hell he or she was doing. And we've done so many of these gigs. Deb was like, she was able to step in real politely and get the job done, because if daddy's little girl, think about it. When you're doing a wedding, daddy's little girl is the star, not you. Nothing but the best for daddy's little girl. So as a vendor, how do you make daddy's little girl happy? You, within reason, you work with dad, you work with that bride, you make sure that don't you worry, enjoy. This is your day. We're here for you. And we're going to make your day as pleasant as possible. You can call me anything you want, but we're going to make your day as possible because we're here for you. And that's how we started getting all these gigs. We come in with a killer price, bringing in a live musician with the DJ. Then the DJs were getting pissed off at it. You're stealing our business. Oh, really? This is called playing an instrument. And I've been doing it for a long time. You came in and you cut our throats. Now you're mad because someone got a wacky idea and I'm not the only one, and we started coming in. Now you're mad? I mean, I don't know. I don't think I got to sign up for lessons how to take a finger. I don't know which finger, could be this finger, to push the button that says play. Am I going to be on the cover of DJ Magazine? Maybe I will, I don't know. DJ Magazine, because I pushed play with my middle finger. Oh, he's in the Hall of Fame or the Hall of Flame. Academy Rewards. Oh, roll out the red carpet. Yeah, I just pushed the play button. Anybody could do that, but not anybody could play a horn instrument. My point is, I found a way to come in through the back door so I could also make money. Deb and I could make money, and we could, share our experiences with people. And, they don't have to hire us. They could still hire the DJ for $1 gazillion that stands there. And I literally seen this. The guy looked like he was at the DMV. Next. Not even smiling. Maybe he's passing gas. I don't know. But my point is, if you're a creative person, hey, Cyber Evil, what is happening? Look how far I've been in the chats I am. See, I apologize, my friends. It's just a try. Mitch Heyman, what's happening? I like that telecast that you got, Mitch. And Mitch, you're 100% on with learning like the chicken picking. I don't know how I can't really do it. Maybe it's because I don't listen to the style. But think about it. If I could do... Oh, I got it on standby. See, look at this. No, son of a bitch. I don't have it plugged in. Look at this, see? This is what happens. You get blabbing away and get all excited. But Mitch, my point I'm going to make here real quick. You would think I could do chicken picking. And basically, if I'm doing like with my steel string guitar. Let me get the other pick. That's all, man. That's a form of chicken picking, right? But if I could do this, for whatever reason, it's because of the style of music. You know what I mean? So this is what I mean. If you want to learn a certain technique within a style of music, what helps is you listening to that music like a lot. Like get it like the guy that I used to play in one of the bands, he would tell me, Dave, let it condition your mind. So I walk around when I was in this top 40 band. I'd listen to all these songs. So you get the rhythms in my head, the chord changes and that. So it starts to become second nature. And then it starts to take its shape. Then you work on your technique. And next thing you know, you got it in your mind already. So you start working on it, But my point is, Mitch, I think you're making great progress. And that telly sounds nice, man. That was a nice Telecaster. Good for you, man. And old man Dan, he's got that Jeff Beck model Fender Strat. That's nice. That is real nice. But yeah, so that's what I mean. When we do this with these DJs, and we figured out ways where we can make money, and then when the big time movie or a big time concert promoter and all that wants to come knocking on the door, okay, fine, but I'm not gonna sit in a rocking chair by the telephone that never rings. Gee, I wonder why the phone's not ringing. Well, why don't I get myself out there and do something? You know what I mean? We would move forward. The more that you start doing things, and I'm not saying to be rude, but you start moving forward. You go out and you perform, you do, or you do on YouTube, you go. These people that were trying to tell you to hold you back, they see you making progress, and all of a sudden, now they're going to want to be your friends. This works a lot in business in the promotion side, because if they see that if you figured out a way around them, this is how rap music started to get big. These people, now all of a sudden they love it. In the beginning, they hated it. And the only reason why I love it now, you get some of these people, and this is where I'm going to give them credit, the rappers. I'm not a big rap fan, but I'm going to give credit where credit is due. They figured out a way to get their music to the general public, whether it's driving around, playing it in their cassette tape, and this goes back late 80s, early 90s, to where you'd see them in shopping malls. They'd rent little tiny booths, those little push cart things, and they'd have the CDs playing, and it'd be all the rap music, and sometimes it'd be their own music and they would just write the title onto the CD, and they were selling it either from the trunk of their car or right there at the shopping mall. And next thing you know, they start selling. They start selling. They said, the hell with the record label. We're going to sell it ourselves. What happened was the record label started seeing people are making money. Now, instead of the artist running to the record label is running to the artist and saying, how are you making this money? We want in on this. This is what happens, my friend. So it's a way of figuring out how to beat the system without, being arrogant about it or anything like that. But, again, don't let people hold you back. You can find a way to go ahead and get the job done. Go ahead and get the job done. I don't care if it says Hello Kitty on the outside. I'll tell you what, if it said Hello Kitty, Fisher Price, and Play School, and the thing stays in tune and sounds great, I will gladly endorse their product. You want to know why? Because when I go out there and play, there's nothing more embarrassing than I got a $5,000 handmade guitar and it doesn't stay in tune. But here comes Hello Kitty with the little kitty cat thing, the ears and the thing never goes out of tune. It stays in tune every time. You put maybe it comes with a good pickup. I don't know if it does, and if it works. See, then the manufacturers and all these people they walk away because they don't like hearing that. Facts are facts. They will always stand their ground. And then the people who want to come up with their fantasy stories, go ahead and do fantasy story all you want. But if the thing doesn't work and stay in tune, it's a wall plaque. Look how nice it is. It's beautiful. Can't use it. Sorry. Even in a recording session. Do you know there's nothing worse than you're standing there or you're sitting there and you got the headphones on and you're constantly, wait a minute, I got it too. Stop the tape. Stop. Hold on. You could do that all you want. But always remember, the hands on the clock, don't stop for that. And those people that are charging by the hour, they do not hit the stop button while you're doing. They don't hit that stop button. They're making money off of you. Good. Oh, we got to go an extra hour because we got to get the project done. How much money? Then you got to whip out the credit card. Or you call, Ma, could you come in here? I need $5, $5 extra bucks. No, I need 50 extra bucks. This is reality. These people never talk about it, though. Okay, so I know one of these days, these people are going to get on my channel. What are you talking about, David? I'm just telling you my personal experience. If it never happens to anybody out there, God bless you. But it's happened to me. That's why I know. Whoa, you're just letting out trade secrets. You got to shut up, man. No, just be honest with people. How hard is it? Don't try to con people. And then they turn around. Yes, we want to do what's right for the community. No, you don't. Don't lie to people. At least be honest. If you want to screw somebody over, at least have the balls enough to say, you know what, we're in it for us. I know that's pretty bold statement to say, but hey, it is, Let's see. See, look at that. I'm out of tune. Look at that. Emma and Jack. Yeah, cool music. Anyways, I apologize. My God, I could go on and on and on. See, but again, it's all these experiences. All for anyone in the chat that I missed saying hi, I want to say hi to you, Jack the Rabbit. You got some great stuff, man. And you know what? Those Cort guitars, they're great. I had a Cort Les Paul Custom that I wish I'd never got rid of, man. I kicked myself for that. That guitar was badass, man. Paid $190 for it back in 1994, 95 at a pawn shop. It was in mint condition, black with the gold hardware, man. And it stayed in tune. It stayed in tune. See? What a concept. Okay, so let me guys. Oh, Great Vanzini. Hey, Great Vanzini. I'm probably I hope you're still here. But Great Vanzini, that video you put up, I watched some of it with going to Phoenix. Or I forget, but I know the song. I know the song very, very, pretty well. Very great tune, man. Really liked what you're doing. And Great Vanzini. I'm not gonna do this now because. Well, maybe I should. But I want to show what this blues driver. This is actually a friend of mine's pedal. If he still needs it back, we got this in Illinois. He's down here. He's up in Clearwater, Florida. It's Danelectro Blue Paisley Pure Overdrive. Maybe it doesn't work. I don't know. But we'll go check it out real quick. And again, like I said, with everybody's songs, and that means all of you guys, I'm going to be spotlighting your guys' music at these gigs with the screen. Saturday, I'll be doing it from, I start at 3 o'clock. I'm going to see if I could do this like from 3:30 to 4:30. But I will definitely let you know because I'll be in touch with the club owner, if not Monday, Tuesday, and we could nail down exactly what time I'm going to be playing. And then I'll post up the posting, you know. So anyways, let me go ahead and show you what I got here. And this is what Robert's Guitar Dungeon was spotlighting this. Okay. This is the Digitech Screaming Blues pedal. The difference between this and the Boss is that you have a high and a low, but you also have a speaker simulator out here. Now, I'm going to plug it back into the amp out. And then I'm going to put the amp on standby and plug it into the to the speaker simulated. And I want you guys to hear the difference. And, oh man, you know how this is. I'm probably shaking the camera. Okay. And I do have the gain up. Okay. And I do have the out of phase. I'm in between neck and bridge with out of phase pickup. Okay. Still neck and bridge pickup. Full power. Bridge pickup. Neck pickup. Okay, now I'm going to call for the overdrive channel on the Hot Rod Deluxe. And this is a George Benson signature model, so this is going to be slightly different than the regular Hot Rod Deluxe. My drive is going to be on number 7, so it's not heavily overdriven. Okay, let's hope it's not overly loud too. Okay, let me turn that. Now if I turn I'm gonna go back to the out of phase with the neck and bridge pickup. Bring my volume down a little bit. Now, the drive that is on the Screaming Blues pedal, I'm going to back it up to 12 o'clock. The gain, I have it all the way up. Now it's at 12 o'clock. The volume on my pedal is at 11 o'clock. My low is at between 1 and 2. My high is just a little under 12 o'clock. And the gain is at 12 o'clock. Full volume on the guitar. Now I got the pedal on. Still neck and bridge pickup. Full power. Okay, now bridge pickup. Okay, now neck pickup. Now, I'm going to leave the channel on the overdrive channel on the amp up. Now I'm going to turn the gain to 3 o'clock. Or actually, let me turn it back to 12. And let me just back down. Let me just back down the gain a little bit. I'm in the volume on the guitar. I'm going to bring... Now we'll bring the volume back down. Okay. Now I'm going to bring the gain on the pedal at 3 o'clock and go back to the bridge pickup. That's what I miss about having a pedal in front of the amp or just cranking the amp's gain up, especially a tube amp. You instantly get a lot of sustained feedback. And with this particular guitar, it being a neck through, and these type of, they're called hot rail pickups, or no, rail hammer pickups. That's what they're called. It does give a really good sound. They're really surprisingly not super hot pickups. They're pickups that are able. Uh-oh, guys, I gotta take this call. I'll be right back, guys. Okay. Hey guys, am I still live? I don't know if I'm still live. Hello? Guitar Meets Science, what is happening if it's a tube amp? Yeah, then okay, let me just do this really quick, guys. I apologize about this. Deb had called. I'm gonna take you guys outside with me, okay? Sorry about this. Because I want you guys maybe to see this. Now, Deb, she works for Camping World. If you guys ever wanted to just look up, let me just do this really quick, my friends. If you ever wanted to look up on like Google where Camping World is in Fort Myers, that's where she works at. She's working today. She told me the alarm system went off over there because there's a tornado. So sorry about this, guys. So I gotta do this. Yeah, Camping World is owned by, yes, yeah, Jimmy from Guitar Meets Science. He is the owner, CEO of Camping World. So, could you guys see this? All right. So, yeah, tell me about it. I mean, we love it down here, but of course I got raindrops on my screen, so my face is not breaking out, my friends. It's the water. So I'm gonna just hang out here. I know. Yeah, Great Vanzini. This is why we have problems when we do live streams. And I'm surprised it's not taking the signal out. Guitar Hack, what's happening, man? Oh man, I hope you're doing well. Hey, I'm gonna take some of your videos if it's all right on my live show. We're scheduled to play next Saturday, and I'll announce exactly the time that I'm gonna do the spotlight. So yeah, because Guitar Hack, that was really cool when you had me on your channel. So, and you got some good material. So definitely want to spotlight all you guys. You know. And I know I haven't been around, but see, sometimes we go through this, and like even Joe Winch, I wanted to see some of his stuff. Now, I was able to get on his channel, and he had a video he put up. But then right after that, at the end, it was buffering, and I had to get off. Yeah, no problem, Guitar Hack. Absolutely no problem, man. See, look at this, man. This is crazy. Earlier, it was nice. You know, when I started doing the live stream, it was great. And now it's like, okay, what I gotta do, I got our flag out there. So you're gonna see me kind of walk around through the house a little bit. You might see some in the background. That's okay. Of course, it's dark. The hell. I gotta get that flag up because it's gonna tear off part of that post. But yeah, these are the things that we go through, you know. Of course, you know what? You go through it no matter what. We had tornadoes up in Illinois. You could have them like at Dana. You get tornadoes, you know. Guitar Hack, you're up in Canada, man. You guys get that extreme cold, man. Holy crap. We done a couple of... I think we did. I know for a fact we did a couple of gigs. I know for a couple of times, actually a few times we were up in Canada, but I know we did a couple of gigs up there. Or maybe it was just that one, and we were just up there a few times. But when we did, it was a private gig. We drove all the way up there and drove all the way back. This is when we were still living in the Chicagoland area. You know? Isn't this great? Tell you what, man. You live once, right? Crap. Yeah, see, it's gonna pull this thing off. Gotta do it with a vice grip. There we go. Hey, you're gonna love it, man, right? It's a real life situation. Put that on the car. I'm just shocked that I'm not losing my signal, man. This is crazy. Yeah, earthquakes in North Carolina. Yeah. There's Emma. Yeah, so Emma, you're up in you're in England, right? If I remember. Yeah, my mother-in-law, she's from Birmingham, England. Now we're in our shed. You can see some of the crap from behind. This is what happens, you know. I love it when I got friends tell me, yeah, we had a, oh yeah. Yeah, you're up in the Pacific Northwest, aren't you? Maybe I could do this. Yeah, I'll tell you what, man, it gets bad everywhere. Nothing is perfect. Old man Dan lives in Colorado. Our friends live in Littleton, Colorado. You go through those mountains, man, they got all these signs, fallen rock. Depending on where you're at driving, hey, you better be careful. Because I'll tell you what, you run into some trouble there, man. It ain't gonna be fun. It is not gonna be fun. But let me get back to the Guitar Hack. Since you're on here, I'm putting clothes in the dryer, right? And you know about electrical. I used to do HVAC and I did electrical classes. You know how. Sonia, what's happening? Thank you for tuning in, guys. And anyone that I've missed, thank you for tuning in. Okay, so I want you to hear something. You're going to hear a click. Hear that click? Okay, now. What I had to learn in trade school. Here, let me just put this here, guys. You see, I always get interrupted. Never fails, man. Never fails. Okay. In trade school, and anybody that knows electrical, that click you hear. That's the start winding jumping out of the circuit. Now, let me just set this here. Just some vibrations. Look at this. There's a company that sells what's called a soft start kit for RVs, or basically any type of vehicle, but it's marketed to the RV industry, and it's saying that if you have an RV that's 50 amps and you're in an area that it's 30 amps to get your AC running or anything else inside your RV running, you can't get your AC going. It's basically, this is what it's for. It'll have your AC that normally would need 50 amps to get started, to get run and get started on 30 amps. So in other words, it takes a smaller amp draw. But see, we used to put in what's called a hard start kit to get your residential AC going. I hope I'm making sense here, guys. That big capacitor or backup battery, good. But now here's the problem with the soft start kit. Now I haven't done this. The last time I was in the industry, it was 2007. Just as the housing market was crashing. Okay. But we were always taught if you're gonna start something, like you use a hard start kit, because what a soft start kit does, it makes the circuit stay in circuit at a lower voltage for a longer period of time. So potentially, let's see. Okay, Guitar Hack. Okay, you might, yeah, see, it might work, because I talked with a mechanic. The mechanic said, don't use that thing because you're going to avoid the warranty. Because what's happening is you have that circuit, that start circuit staying in the circuit longer, and over the course of time, you're going to put damage on that start winding. I better get in. This is getting crazy. But you know, Guitar Hack, if it could work, that's great. You know, see, because I know you're still actively doing that, and that's why I feel comfortable asking you, because that you have that knowledge, man, and it's been a long time since I ever had to do anything like that. Yeah, no, it's rain. I'm in my carport, so it's the rain hitting the top of the carport. Yes, it is, hail. Hail, hail, the gang's all here. What the frick do we do? Yeah, see. Yeah, so I just thought if there's anybody out there with that knowledge, and if it works, that's great. But we have a couple of RV YouTube friends. I better get in here. This is getting crazy. Okay. I have a couple RV YouTubers, full-time RVers, and they swear by using a soft start kit. And I'm thinking, you better make sure you don't put wear and tear on your AC. I'll do this, guys. Sorry about that. Because if you do, and you over time, you wear out your start windings, and you go to take your AC back to the dealer, and they see that you've been messing with it, they're gonna, first thing they're gonna say is you just voided the warranty out. Now I'm hearing thunder. I'm not hearing tornado, because Deb said there was the sirens went off. Look at this. I'm surprised I still got my feed going. Now, when it's just, this is so weird down here. You know, when it's kind of sunny and maybe a little rain cloud, next thing you know, I don't get no signal. You know? Yeah, hard rains, yeah. Yeah, it's just, it's crazy, man. But no, Guitar Hack and anybody else that chimes in on that, I appreciate that information. If it could work, that's fine. You know, it's just that these people, man, they'll spend anywhere from 17,000 up to over 100,000 on some of these RVs, and depending on what they're getting, an A class, a C class, a B class, the super C classes, those are usually on your international and Freightliner chassis, and those are your big trucks. And I've seen like them starting at 174 grand, which by what you can get is really modest and cheap compared to what you can get. But the fact of the matter is, even if you're spending $17,000, anytime you go over 30 amps and you got to draw 50 amps, this is where you're going to have the issue. Because some of these RV parks, yeah, soft start limits inrush current into the motor. Guitar Hack, thank you. Will it do over a course of time? Can it damage the start windings? Because, you know, like I said, it's been a long time, but in the electrical classes, and even after trade school, we go to these meetings with RSES. They were the trade association meetings, and do these, you know, extra classes through Honeywell or Lennox or Carrier, and they would always show you, you know, your difference between your start windings and your run windings. Your run windings would be thinner thinner basic windings, thinner wires, where the start ones would be thicker so you could take that inrush. So it's just something that to kind of consider, because these people on YouTube was saying, yeah, this thing works great, but they're not qualified. And I'm thinking, okay, so if someone comes up with an idea and maybe it does work, and maybe, yeah, it actually protects the windings from inrush current. Guitar Hack, thank you. See, now it sounds like it's legit. See, now this is what this sounds like. Okay, you know as well as I know, Guitar Hack, you're going to get these people that are going to tell you, no, don't do that. You're going to avoid warranty, you're not qualified, you can't this, you can't that. I understand what they're saying, but then you're going to get the same type of people. They're only saying that because here comes someone that invents a product, or maybe this has been out for a lot longer than what I'm aware, but it works, and then they get mad because it could put them potentially out of business, or the service out of business. You know what I mean? So someone comes in with an idea, and as we all know, technology keeps evolving, and it's getting better and better. So that, Guitar Hack, you just answered a lot of my questions right there. Thank you so much, buddy. It's so much appreciated. Because see, since Deb works at not Guitar World, she works at Camping World. I could tell her, you being a qualified instructor, you're in the industry. See, I haven't been in since 2007, so I wouldn't feel comfortable taking my advice because I've been out of it for so long. Sorry about walking around and moving this phone. Let me see if I could put this back here. So I had to turn the amp off, guys, only because I don't want anything to happen. Okay, so I'll probably do another demo later, not live, but just a later demo where, let me get this again. I'm gonna not only redo it again into the amplifier using the amps output, but then I'm gonna use the speaker sim output. And then I'm gonna go into the Roland BA330 powered PA speaker, do the amp sim, and then show you what happens when you use the guitar out, and why it's not really good to use just a pedal, does not have a simulator, into a powered PA because it scratches up the tweeters. Let's see what guitar. Yeah, start windings only get damaged if the current switch is stuck closed. Yeah, and start winding stays in the circuit. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, because it's got to jump out of the circuit. Otherwise, it'll get hot and fried. At least that's what one of my instructors told me. And this is no matter where, even though you might, I think you might be slightly different voltage up in Canada. Maybe. I could be wrong. But I definitely know over in Europe it's different. And not only is your voltage different, but your outlet, your plugs look different. So in other words, let me grab this one spot. It's not just like, this cord. You see how that is? 2-prong or a 3-prong. Sometimes they're like little posts, like over in Ireland, they're like little posts. And then when we were in Belgium, they were slanted. So, and of course, nowadays with a lot of the manufacturers, my Hughes and Kettner amp, it is called the Edition Blue 60. So it's a solid state amp, but on the back, it has the volt. It's not a switch. It'll accommodate the voltage, the different voltages. So you know what? Guitar Hack, thank you for giving me that information, because it's the same concept. Not the exact same way I'm about to start winding, but the same concept where you have voltages or you have appliances and electronic devices that can handle these different voltages, But I tell you what, it's really good to know. It's really good to know. If you find any Digitech products still new, you might find that when you buy them and they come with their power adapter, within the power adapter, you have all these different adapters. So if you go to different parts of the world, you could plug it into the wall socket. And I think that's brilliant that these manufacturers, think about that, I tell you what, man. This is crazy. Dog Paw, what's happening? I didn't mean to miss you, my friend. Epiphonium, what's happening? I seen some of the names, but see, everything's a, yeah, same voltage here. Okay, yeah, same outlets. Okay, yeah. 'Cause, I mean, it's been a little while, but see, we would plug into our surge protector, and the guy that plugged us into his wall, he just plugged it in. Oh yeah, see, Emma, you're 240 over in Europe. Yeah, definitely. You know, when our hotel room in Ireland was kind of weird because everything was off of this timer. Even I'm pretty sure, I could be wrong, I have to ask Deb, even the water. So if you wanted to take a shower, everything was like on a timer. And then and maybe it was set that way so you know people go tourists, they go out and they come back, they're drinking, and especially if you're American, and I don't drink, but all my friends that do drink, they go over to Europe, and the first thing they tell me, wow, the alcohol over there is a lot stronger than over here in the States. So they go out pubbing, and they go back, they change their clothes, I'll meet you out there, and they leave the lights on, so everything's on a timer in our hotel, and it was pretty cool to see that. Um, it was a lot of fun over there, man. It was an experience I'll never forget. And but it'd be that cool to go over to England. And Deb said, you know what we'll do? We'll put our money together. We'll go over to Rome, Italy, see the Colosseum. We'll go over there, from there to Spain. We want to go to Granada, Spain, buy the guitar over there, and maybe set up some shows. If not, we'll just do it as a tourist. I don't care. And go over to England. And just visit over there again because it really was a great experience. Yeah, guitar 120, 240, 60 hertz, yeah, 60 cycles. Yeah, the stand. Yeah, I know, man. Yeah, how about it? Oh, okay. Canadian same as US. Yeah, yeah. Great Vancini. I used to have that amp. Great little, yeah. It is, yeah. I got the Edition Blue 60. It's a great amp, man. Holy crap. What's nice when you if you take the gain down and you roll your volume down in a guitar, it cleans up fairly nice. I was definitely surprised. I, yeah. Oh, Michael says, yeah, just different standards. Yep. Uh, yeah, like lifter. Yep. There must be. There's a song in this, you know there is. Dude. Now, this is very interesting. When you're in these situations, how many of you guys, Guitar, you might have been in these situations, whether it is rain or snow, and like, you know, Great Vanzini, any of you guys and gals out there, you get hired to do a gig, and whether it's outside or inside or in a little canopy type area, and it starts raining and you get power fluctuating. You know what's really nice? The Digitech loop pedals, the Jam-Man stereos, they will not run on batteries. The Boss pedals will run on batteries, including the ME70, the ME50, and the ME80. And I know, Guitar Hack, you're not a big fan of the ME70, and yeah, it does have its quirks. I will agree with you there, man. Yeah, it does. But this pedal here, I was kind of surprised that, and I tried it out. And actually, it comes with the battery. The Boss SY1 synthesizer. It's a really cool pedal. I will also do a little bit more of an in-depth demo on this. And the reason being, if you take your pedal through the effects loop, crazy, you have this inner volume. The inner volume, you have like two volumes. This inner one is the synthesizer volume. Your outer volume would be your guitar volume. Okay? If you run your effect processor through the effects loop, and if your effect processor volume is loud, when you engage the pedal, turn it on, no matter how loud you have this, you're gonna get a volume drop. And then when you turn it off, you might get a volume spike. I've experienced that with the Digitech. So I had to bring down the volume, master volume down on the Digitech, and then alter it on the pedal so I could get a good balance, you know? Yeah, it's crazy. I tell you, this only happens to me. Yeah, don't go to Europe and plug your. Yes! I had a friend of mine, their band got signed. Their band got signed to a small record label. And the singer tells me, yeah, man, it's great. I said, that's going to be a great experience for you guys. I said, I'm happy for you. Go for it. You know, Sonia, watching the storms. Yeah, watching the storms by Rockin' Dave. I'll tell you what, man, it is different. So anyways, their guitar player, they go over to Germany. Open Air Metal Fest, it was called. And it was actually on like the smaller stage they were playing. He didn't want to listen to me. So, you know, on the airplane, you could buy like adapters. But you got to read what the thing says. Because when you get to the airport, they'll sell them at the airport. You have adapters, and then you have voltage regulators, and then you have adapters, voltage regulators with adapters. He decided to go on the cheap and just buy the adapters. Didn't even think, because he had older guitar processors that ran on voltages over here in the States. My old singer tells me he plugs in, and as soon as he plugs in, he fried out his pedal board, man. So he had to go straight into one of the Marshall amps that they had there. Couldn't get a good gain sound out of it. I mean, I thought the sound was pretty good, but you know how it is. You want your tone. They only were able to do a 40, not even a 40-minute set. Maybe it was a 20-minute set or something like that. The promoter's there. Come on, we gotta hurry up. Because we gotta get you guys on, and as soon as you guys are done, we gotta get you guys off. Because, you know, this is how it is. They cycle through the bands. So he got all pissed off because it wasn't working. He fried his gear. Yeah, Suicide is Painless. I got the guitar. I got the acoustic guitar in the case. Here. What the hell? Let me grab this. Yeah. Suicide is Painless. Yep. Mitch Heyman, what's happening? Is it storming there? Yeah, it is. When I was still on, I don't know, it didn't cut off. I don't know, but Deb called and she told me, hey, she said, Dave, she said the sirens went off here at Camping World. They said a tornado touched down. So be careful back home. I said, okay, I'll check the weather. Nothing's on the Weather Channel. I just happened to open the door. I mean, I could see it's raining. But I'll tell you what, man, if this is my time to go, then you know what's my time to go, right? What am I going to do about it? I mean, I could prepare for it, but you know what I mean? There's nothing worse than you look at yourself and you see your mouth moving like a horse. You know what I mean? Like chewing gum. But yeah, there's more lightning. I am shocked that this is not cut off. This blows my mind. Because the other day I couldn't even get on YouTube. It was just buffer, and I'm going like this. We use Verizon. We have the hotspot. We try to save as much money as possible. And sometimes we get really good connections. It's weird when we were doing a lot of our shows in Arizona and all that. We'd go through cross country, get no problems with Verizon. Absolutely great service. And even back in our old home, back up in Chicago, we come down here. Now our house does have aluminum shutters, so that could also be. I don't know. I mean, I'm just taking wild guesses. But I've noticed when we get these storms, it messes with things. But look, now it's working great. See, I'm still on. Yeah, I'd play right in the storm out. I don't maybe see. I don't want to blow out the fender, because we'll tell you what. Let's go for it, right? Okay. So now I'm going to plug in to the amp sim. And you know what? We'll see what happens, my friends. And if you guys had to go or anything, no worries, because I'll leave the video up. Because I want you guys to, besides hearing that, now I'm going to use the clean sound on the amp. Okay, the clean channel. And uh-oh, something's going on. Oh, I know. Look at this. I unplugged this thing. Tell you what, man. When they say less is more, they're not kidding. Less really is more. Yeah. No records screw me up. Yeah, Michael, you know what? Don't you find this ironic? And I did put up a tutorial. I'm going to start putting more tutorials. What the hell, right? Don't you find this ironic that if you take guitar lessons, everyone tells it. When I was teaching over at the school, they'd say, and I would never use the book, only if I had to. But I would always write stuff down because every student's different. Nobody wants to learn, Mary wants Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star unless they're going to use it as a joke, right? That's the reality. I got to turn this volume down a little bit here because it's going to be loud. Oh, yeah, it's loud. But don't you find this very strange? They'll teach you D. We'll teach you a song. How's that? D. Here's C add 9, a little easier. And if you can handle it, go ahead and go for it, right? And here's G. Okay. That's the real thunder out there, man. Thor just came out of the sky and went boom. Okay. So now they're going to say, we're going to teach you a scale. And what do they teach you? A blues pentatonic, which is nice. No, I'm not knocking it. But then you got the chords here. Now, unless you can figure this out, and I'm not saying that you can't, a lot of people look at it like, well, how come I learn chords here, but then you want me to play down here? This is your advantage of knowing all the notes on the fretboard, because I'm going to show you another way you could do a blues scale that I've never seen anyway. I could be wrong, because I can't, be up 24/7, for 365 days straight through watching the YouTube video. I'd like to, trust me, but I can't. Okay, so here is your blues pentatonic scale, minor pentatonic, right? I'm gonna name every single note. A, C, D, E, G, A, C, D, E, G, A, C, right? Okay. How about doing this? A, C, D, E, G, A, C, D, E, G, and then A, C. I know it looks crazy. now you can kind of see that if you're playing chords up here, and if you get used to playing pentatonic scale, starting on A, because they teach you an A. I have an A note there, I have a D. And if I do a suspended, now there's my G. Now why would I go to C? Because I'm playing a C chord. Why would I go to a G? I'm playing a G chord. I mean, I know this sounds crazy and it kind of goes against the grain, but it laid out physically, it makes more sense. But I'll get into that more, guys and gals. I'm gonna hang on as long as I can until. Yeah, how about it, man? So, now this is the Blues Driver pedal with the speaker sim output. I'm gonna go just the pedal. Now, I'm going to just go full power bridge pickup. Now, let me put the amp on standby. Let me go back to the amp output on this pedal. And this is what I mean, what you're going to hear. There is a difference. It almost seems like the speaker simulator could be a little bit muffled, where this opens up more. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn off the amp and I'm going to go into the PA speaker. And again, my friends, for anyone who has to take off, don't worry, man. You guys are still my friends. So, yeah, I slide the minor scale all over the neck and play in just about every position. Yeah, you know what? The best thing, my advice, and I used to tell this to my students all the time, they would literally think they would have to know a gazillion scales and a gazillion this and a gazillion that. I said, if you want to, absolutely, because the more you know, you could do more, you have more options. But it doesn't mean that you are limited to being creative with what you know. Because I would tell them it's really what you do with what you know. And I'd say, just let things grow with you naturally, you know. Don't get so frustrated, because what happens when a person allows them to get frustrated, then the guitar comes off, goes into the case, and under the bed it goes, and then 2 weeks from now they pick up the guitar, and then it's back to fumbling and bumbling, you know what I mean? So that's something that you know, people have to decide for themselves, but don't get frustrated. Now, and then I'm going to really briefly, because while I'm on the subject, what's in my brain here. Well, here, let me turn this amp on. I might have to move this a little bit, guys. I apologize, because I got to pull this forward and turn it on. And I am on the channel with some reverb. Okay. It's always something, man. I swear to God, it ain't easy being me, man. Oh, I had it on. What a dummy. Now, so I'm going straight into the Roland BA330 powered PA. Could you hear that? Let's see. Maybe on the tone on that channel is too much. Okay, so because you need to hear this, why you'd use anything with a speaker sim, and why overdrives that don't have a speaker sim, in my opinion. Okay, now I'm back to full power. Wow. See how scratchy that sounds? Not really pleasant. Now, I got to turn this off here, and I think I'm going to just back down a little bit on that volume because it's like really cranking. Okay, let me make sure it's. Okay, now, let's go ahead and do this. Now I'm going to plug into the speaker sim. And you know what? There's a lot of people that don't understand this. So it's a good thing that you hear this. And this is why you would use something like this, a speaker simulator. Same bridge pickup. So that's why I do like these series that Digitech came out with, these type of pedals that have that speaker sim out. I know TC Electronics did that quite a few years ago, actually in the early 2000s. I know Zoom has that. Digitech definitely has that. Now I did use a Zoom G5 pedal, and this was in God, what was it? 2000. It was 2012. It was the silver. It was a 5-foot switch pedal, silver pedal that had the preamp tube, and the volume pedal not only went like this, it would swivel back and forth. Pretty cool concept. But no matter what I did with that pedal, even calling the speaker sim out, when I ran into the Bose L1 Compact, it had that scratchy sound. When I got the Digitech, bought another Digitech, hit the switch for mixer, I plugged into the Bose L1 Compact, sounded phenomenal. So it was that type of a situation. It just didn't work, But see, they improved on it more. So, anyways, that's really near here or there. While I have still juice and I'm not on fire, getting electrocuted from lightning bolts, that'd make one hell of a live stream, wouldn't it? Look, there's Rockton Dave. Yeah, he's electric fried, all right. He's electric fried. Okay, so while we have all this good stuff going on here, and if you're on Great Van Z, no problem, I'll leave the video up. We're going to go ahead and plug this thing and actually see if this is really working, And, you know what they say, hope for the best, expect the worst. There it is. Of course, now we'll plug this. I'll plug into the Fender amp. I'll tell you what, Old Man Dan and Guitar Hack, I haven't had a tube amp since 1985. And it's not that I don't like them. I was always doing things on the cheap. I'm just going to be honest, doing things on the cheap. I really was, And I got some good sounds out of the stuff. But every time I plugged into a tube amp, especially the Fenders, nothing beats that warm tube sound. And my personal opinion, now the Hughes and Kettner sound great. There's a lot of other amps that sound great. But honestly, if you take your main amps, I think you'd say take 3 of them. Because Vox had its own tailored sound. And then Fender has their sound. And then Marshalls have their sound. Mesa Boogie would take a Fender amp, zoop it up, and they did great stuff. So I love Mesa. They're great stuff. Friedman would take the Marshalls and totally, maybe gut it out and put out their own things, but it's still like a zooped up Marshall. Solano, if I pronounce it right, Soldano, same thing. The only other brand that really did come in on its own, believe it or not, is Peavey. And we all know that there's sounds in the 80s, the Special 130s, the Heritage, the Classics, and all that. I'm talking not the Classic 50 or 30. I'm talking about their solid state amps. You'd had to either add an EQ or use a different distortion. It wasn't all super great. But you want to talk about an amp that was reliable? Those PV amps, man, would last and last and last, man. I mean, and that's one thing I do respect about Hartley Peavey. I don't know what's going on with Peavey now, but he really wanted to make an amp for the working musician. And it was really incredible to see after the success of the Peavey 5150s, and then that got converted into 6505 series amps, that any one of us who remembers the Peaveys back in the 80s, if we could go back in time, like Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, and someone says, in the future, Peavey is going to be known as the standard of modern metal, even outdoing Marshall to a certain degree. Everybody would laugh at you and say, you're crazy, you're high, man, what are you smoking? But now you fast forward, and Peavey, they did accomplish that task. And I remember on YouTube, one of the NAMM shows, the Peavey 40th anniversary. And my wife, when she was at the Anaheim NAMM show, she met Mr. Peavey. She got a picture with Mr. Peavey and his wife back then. She had the real long hair. And she said Mr. Peavey was always nice. Matter of fact, I think it was the early 90s. And they got invited to like a luncheon from the guy that owns QSC speakers. Because my wife had a speaker company, her and her business partner. So let's see if the old Dan Electro works, my friend. We're gonna find out. Well, that's a good sign. It came on. Now if it's gonna work. Okay. I didn't look at the switch to tell you what it's called, but it's all the way to the left. I'm gonna set it in the middle. Everything except, I guess, the drive. I got the drive all the way up, but everything else is at 12 o'clock. Let's see what happens when I put the switch in the middle. Okay, that's pretty interesting. It's almost like I can hear a clean sound with the overdrive. I have a Korg, and I should bust out that old Korg AW or AG or AGX 1500. I should put that out because it has their version of a tube screamer, and it automatically converts right into a PA system. That's just really cool with that. But with that overdrive, it sounds like I have a clean amp, almost louder than the overdriven amp. It's weird. That's what this kind of reminds me of. Now that thing is okay. It works good. This would work good with the out of phase. Okay, so let's see if I start messing with these other. Oh, I see. It is like a blend. Okay. This is what I like about Mitch Heyman. If you're still in here, when you did your demo on your Telecaster, you also put the switch in the middle because it's got a really unique tone in the middle. That's what I like about the Telecaster. It has a really unique sound. Now I put that little toggle switch in the middle on the Dan Electro pedal. Not bad. Now I'm going to put it all the way to the left. It almost sounds like if you run it through a transistor radio. But I wonder what it sound like when I overdrive the amp. Let's see. Oh boy, okay. Maybe I got that channel too loud. It's real hissy sounding. Anyways, I better shut this down at least because I see more strikes of lightning coming out there. But anyways, I know, Old Man Dan, you have the Marshall Origin, and actually so does Guitar Hack. And I think if I were to buy another tube amp, I think I'd grab that Origin. Now, in my situation, I still have my 412 cab with the Celestians. I could grab the head and it'll sound great. Oh shit! Look at that lightning. Hear that? Dude, man, it was like literally from a picture. See, I always miss it. Always miss. You know, I mean, literally looked like if someone, like from a Frankenstein movie. Boom. That's why I needed to shut this down, because I don't want to blow anything. Because with my luck, I'll blow it. I'll blow it all right. Just say, nice, Dave, nice. But I do like the combo. It's convenient, it's quick, in and out, quick, you know. But I'll tell you what, man, from what I heard, and I heard some of your stuff you've done with your Guitar Hack with your Origin, sounded great, man. It just sounded I don't care what they do with technology, and they are doing a phenomenal job. But there is something when you plug into a tube amp where you could actually, it's like you feel the warmth of the tone is just warm. It's the only way you could describe it. And it might be a little bit instability for some. I've experienced that. Not with the Fender, not yet. But overall, you really can't beat it. And I could guarantee next time I get together with my friend, the drummer, because we're working on putting something together. I got a keyboard player that lives here in our community. And the guy is great, man. I mean, we were doing scale runs together. He was playing, look at this. He was playing Roundabout. And we were doing unison runs from what I can remember. And all I did was take my acoustic guitar, walked over to his house, didn't even plug in, and just to get a feel for each other, you know, if we gel. And yeah, he's got some great ideas, and he's got a bass player friend that used to tour with some of these people. And what's nice, everyone's on the same page. They're not trying to take over the world. They're working with people's schedules, because this is the hard thing to get musicians that can work with people's schedules. But I guarantee I could bring one of those Harbingers that's rated at 600 watts peak power. And it does sound good. But I could put it right next to this Fender 40 watt all tube amp. And I could bet you I'll hear this Fender through that supposedly 600 watts peak power. Because as we know, tube power is a lot more than solid state power. Listen to this. It's Armageddon here, my friends. Oh my God, look how far back I am. Yeah, Tweeter Killer, yep. My God. Oh, what? Let me show you this great Vanzini that I'm probably like way back in the chat. This is called the Blue Paisley pedal. Actually, if anyone could see, I'll do a separate video where I'm specifically with this. I have this pedal here, and it's actually my friend's pedal. This is the Screaming Blues pedal, the Digitech. Robert's Guitar Dungeon did a video on that. He's a great guy. I have this, and I could go ahead and plug this in because I still got my my adapter plugged in. This I think I got it for either $5 or $10 or $5, brand new from Best Buy, because I did a performance there. This is their it's called the chicken salad, but it's like a Univibe pedal. And I have the yellow one, that's the tremolo, which it works great. And then I also have like a pink one that's supposed to be an octave divider, which works pretty good. But out of all three of this series of pedals, this one and the tremolo works great. Now the switch is plastic. I'm going to plug it into the Fender. And let's see. Go ahead and turn it on. You live once, right? I got my out of phase switch going here, so oh, son of a, okay, I gotta see something. Again, switches and knobs. That's why I like a lot of the old blues players would just go right into the amp. There we go. You see how deep that is? That's in the front of the amp. Without the chicken salad vibrato, that's what's called. Now with it engaged on. Not bad. But you see, hear that? That's what I mean. Hear how that sounds? If anybody remembers, or if anyone could find anywhere on YouTube or an old, pawn shop or whatever, anywhere, MXR back in 1983, 84, 85, somewhere in that range, was being bought out, or they were going through some financial issues. So this is before Dunlop took over, and they went from what we know as we see the MXR pedals, that same style and that. Then they had a style that was this size, but it didn't look like this. But I had an overdrive that had two outputs. Metal casing. One output was dry, the other was wet. So if you ran two amps, one amp would have a clean sound in conjunction with the overdrive sound. They ran that series for a little bit. And then they came out with another series that was a white pedal with a black foot switch, and it was all plastic. And it would do this, man. You'd step on it, and it would do that, man. And it was like, are you kidding me? record of Edmund Fitzgerald. So I can't sing on it. Look at this. See this? I mean, I'm just touching it and be popping and fizzing and everything else. My old Big Muff pedal. Yeah, old Music Man are basically, that's exactly what they are. Leo Fender amps. Yeah, exactly, old man Dan. Exactly. I remember the Music Man amps back in late 79, late 79, early 1980 now. See, back in Chicago, we used to have a music store called Chicago Music Company. I don't think it's Don who owns Chicago Music Company. It could be Don or John Shaw in conjunction with Chicago Music Exchange. But back then, I don't even remember hearing anything of Chicago Music Exchange. But see, that was in the mid 1980s. Last time Chicago Music stayed open was like maybe latter part, yeah, latter part of the 80s, and then they shut down. You know, so this is incredible that my feed is still on. My God, this is incredible. Storm and everything. Yeah, Albert Lee uses an old Korg. Yeah, he likes the compressor. Yep. You know, Korgs, they work great, man. Anything could work great, and it depends on how you take care of it. With the exception of pedals doing this. You know, see? I love the way it sounds. But that popping, man, I can't, not too cool. Yeah, Mitch Heyman. Yes, on my new American Professional Telecaster, all three positions sound fantastic. Yeah, Mitch, that sounds great, man. I think Guitar Hack has a Tele. I know Ed Dana does. A few people out there have Tele. I never owned a Tele. Never. I was going to buy one from a place called Wooden Music that was up the road from Chicago Music Company. I was going to buy that. And then I was going to buy a Les Paul Standard, a black Les Paul Standard. Gibson, of course, because they didn't have the Epiphones out. $500, man. But again, I was being on the cheap. And I had my Ibanez Artist. I didn't need another guitar. So, again, I'm like way back in the chat. Look at this, way back, Just, this reminds me of? When you go to the movies or, with the old 38 special stuff, yep. Yeah, 2 Power is real. Like thunder. Now, when Deb had her sound company, when I met her, we went and she had an attached garage from her house, something like 720 square feet. I went in there. What was left of her PA system was like a wall of speakers, man. And she's got pictures of her and her business partner designing these speaker cabinets, and they were selling it. That's why they'd be at the NAMM shows. And I forget what the name of the company was. Uh-oh. I did something. Oh. I better shut that. Anyways, she had like a whole rack mount of Crown power amps. And one of the power amps in the Chicagoland area, there used to be a place in Berwyn, Illinois, like Sven Gulli, Berwyn, called DJ's Music. The guy, I forget what it was. 2500 watt power amp. Now, I can't remember the exact deal. No, maybe it was a 5,000 watt power amp. He sold to Deb and our business partner, I'm pretty sure, $500. It was brand new. He made a mistake on selling it that cheap, and he already rang it up, so it was already in their system, and he had to eat the cost. And they grabbed that power amp. I said, "Good for you." So she had a lot of stuff, man. She told me back then to rent the booth at the Anaheim. Pretty sure they were at the Anaheim. Yeah, they were in Anaheim because she told me about it. Anaheim, California. She said it costs like $2,500. Now there's a music store up the road called WD Guitars. That lady told me it's like $6,000 just to rent a 10x10 space. And I understand. You know, you gotta. That's how the convention hall makes money. Well, that's how not only the convention hall makes money, but the people that are sponsoring NAMM show. I understand they need to make money, but if I was the manufacturer, I already been to NAMM, so it's fun. But man, I tell you what, I had a really great experience, and then I seen an experience there that was like not too great. That shocked me. ME7 is all those and more, like 100 pedals for the price of one. Yeah, thrash metal, it is. I get a good sound when I run the ME70 into the Fender, and I bypass the preamp. And there's a patch there with the metal distortion called Modern. And I'll take that distortion maybe at 1 o'clock. And it's always the EQ you got to kind of mess with. I'll mess with the EQ a little bit. I'm running through this amp, and wow, man, it sounds badass. I'm like, holy crap. And this Hot Rod Deluxe has got a custom 100-watt custom-made Jensen speaker. Because, see, this is the George Benson model. And George Benson plays jazz, so he wanted something to sound clean. So if he cranks it up, he wanted to maintain clean. And it does. But it can handle some certain metal pedals incredible. And plus the cabinet's not real heavy. It's made out of pine, I think it is, as opposed to some of the other woods. I think this is a 2013 model. I don't know if Fender ran that series past 2013, maybe into 2014. Because he had the signature, the twin reverb signature, George Benson, and Hot Rod Deluxe. And then, for whatever reason, maybe it wasn't a hot selling item, so Fender dropped it. Yeah, a digital is yeah, exactly. Tubes are what a real person feels. Yeah, you can really feel. And I'll tell you what, the majority of videos you see, I'm running the Digitech into the Roland, so everything is non-tubes. But when I plug into the Fender, or really any tube amp, yeah, you could instantly feel the difference. It's like night and day. It really is. And I mean, and I'm not knocking what has evolved since then. We got a lot of great stuff that has evolved, no doubt about it. But I don't know, man. Maybe it'll come to a point where it'll sound and feel exactly like a tube amp. You know what you're gonna find out is when you crank things up. That's when you're gonna really do a side-by-side comparison. And at lower volumes, solid state works great. You crank it up past with a drummer, especially if you're in an area with a high cathedral ceiling and tile floors. Those cymbals are gonna be. That's when you got to cut through that mix. And if you're recording, no matter what mics you're using, yeah, you can control that. But standing there live, even with a sound baffle, standing there live, you're still going to hear that high with the cymbals crashing, all those highs. So if you got a tube amp, it'll definitely cut through. And of course, depending on how you set your EQ. Yeah, several of those little Dano pedals. Yeah, they are. They really are. Yeah, they're fun to collect. I agree with you, Great Vanzini. Um, like some of the guitars. There was a time in the mid to late mid to late 1990s where Guitar Center, their Les Pauls, I don't know what happened. Maybe they got in a fight with Gibson, and even some of the shred guitars, they were gone, and it was all those Dan Electro guitars that, if you're still shaking off the remnants of 80s metal and the big everything is big and it's rocking out, and then you go to get like a Jackson Kelly or an Ibanez, or anything like that, and instead you're stuck with looking at a bunch of Dan Electros that look like pawn shop guitars from the 60s, although they're good guitars, don't get me wrong, but it's that visual impact. You're like, dude, what happened, man? What happened with all your good guitars? You know what I mean? With the lipstick pickups. See, this is what I mean. Judging a book by the cover, then you pick it up and you plug in, it's like, man, this sounds great. Yeah, let's see. I like when you play. Oh yeah, Mitch Heyman. Thanks, man. Yeah, Day of the Eagle, Robin Trower. It's a killer song, man. Guys, I think I get by with playing some just because I don't sing. And even Ed Dana mentioned something to that effect. Maybe if you play as instrumental, no one contacts you. Now that's not always the case, because there was sometimes I'd watch my videos and they'd spin it right through and they'd delete the song and copyright claim and all that. But I would kind of feel bad if they said, Dave, you can't play any more of our stuff because, we just don't want you to. I've never ran into these people down here, but I've ran into the residents down here that's been here for 20, 30 years. And they tell me that Brian Johnson from AC/DC, if he's not living here full time, he's got a house in Fort Myers Beach, which is just maybe a half hour away from our house. One of the guys at the hotels told me that John Paul Jones from Led Zeppelin comes down to Cape Coral because his mom lives in Cape Coral. Steve Miller comes down here. The guy and I seen the ad for the guy that sang with the Planters. He's down here. So I mean, I know they're down here. I just haven't ran into them, and I'm not going to bother these people, man. I mean, I'll be polite and say hi, but I'm not going to bug them. Some of them, they really don't like that. They really don't like that. They'd rather you just talk to them like, I have bad weather too, dude. I'm not, I appreciate you liking me, but I'm just a human being like you too. But I think part of that is, I know there was an Eagles tribute band that they got on Craigslist down here in Florida, and they put up this notice that said they got contacted. They were being they had to go to court because they were publicly playing these songs without the permission. I guess Don Henley or whoever it was from the Eagles was suing them. And this is what I mean. When we left Illinois, there was a guy that contacted the club owner and said, if you don't pay up, we don't want you playing any more of the covers. So she told me she lied to the guy and asked me if I'd played mostly originals. And that's how I found out about the list, because she said she's got a list of songs that she could get away with playing if she doesn't get caught. But these other ones, she said she had to tear all her posters off of the wall that was advertising the bands because the guy came back. I don't know, man. That's why I don't take it too lightly. Yeah. Oh, your Behringer pedals too, man. I mean, here's the thing. If they sound good and you could get a good sound out of them, boom, why not, right? Oh, wow, you saw 38 Special in 1978. Wow, Buck Lester. The only thing I can remember from the show is the two backup singers wearing, yeah. Oh, you have an ME33. There's a guy that has an ME30. It's a plastic pedal. And actually, That's not a bad idea because Joe Wentz, he has that Zoom pedal, and it's plastic. It's black. But so is the ME30. And there's this guy, his name is George. Oh no. We did that same gig together outside. And I was using my Digitech. It's all black, but it's metal. And I'll tell you what, that sun beats on it. I had to bring, when I was done playing, I had to let my pedals cool off, especially the RP 360. It was hot, man. I had to touch it. His pedal, I could still pick up and grab it. So I'm starting to change my mind a little bit on some of these plastic pedals. If they're strong, where they're not going to pop and fizz when you step on them. You know, there's a guy I was talking with when I did that live stream at Yucatan's about 3 weeks ago. And then my feed got cut off because of the storm. Anyways, the guy's playing after me. He's got real modest gear he brings out. He says, I don't bring anything expensive out. He said, you know what? I've been down here, like, I don't know, maybe 40 years he's been down here. 40 or 42 years, whatever. He's a much older gentleman than myself. He says, I tell all these young kids, that's nice, you got nice gear. I said, but you got to remember, if you're going to play like in Fort Myers Beach or along the ocean there, or anywhere where you buy waterfront, and they used to do this. They don't do this too much anymore. But we used to do the same thing back up north. If you play at a certain club, like say 4 or 5 days in a row, you could leave your gear there, right? So he said back in those heydays, we'd leave our gear there, and we started noticing, you know, the corners of the amps, how they got those little metal things, corner things that were silver, not painted black or anything. Over time, they get all rusted out and nasty looking. And he said, well, that's because of the salt from the ocean. You know, when that wind is blowing it, it's blowing all that over from the ocean, and you picking up on that, and it stays in the air, and it starts to deteriorate the equipment. Drummers, if they had really cheap cymbal stands, after a while they would have to replace their cymbal stands because the legs, where it gets real thin, would get all corroded and rusted and on the verge of just collapsing. The leg collapsed because it's metal, you know. So he said, I buy cheap gear when I go out and play. He said, I buy cheap gear, and I try to buy stuff that doesn't have that has a flat matte finish, because you're out and you're sweating and you watch and see, man, it's going to destroy all that. And then you bring out an expensive guitar, and then if you're playing down here a lot, within a year's time, man, you start doing a lot of damage to it. He goes, man, especially if you rest your palm on like the bridge, that whole area, man, gets corroded like real bad. God, look at that. Let's see. Yeah, see, Robin Trout and all that. See, back in the day, man, these people, I'll tell you what, man, they were digging all the time. Yeah, digital clean up quicker, yeah. But there aren't no gig, yeah. There's no give to take to it. Yeah, there isn't. Because some of these digital pedals, when you roll the volume down, and depending on how you have the distortion set, it'll sound nasty, or if you crank it up, it'll start to sound really hissy and trebly. Then you gotta back down the highs. So it's almost, if you're gonna use digital gear and a solid state amp, you would have to crank it up at band level and set your settings at that level, and kind of mess with it, and actually write it down, or with the phone take a picture of all your settings, so that if you have to bring the volume down at a smaller volume, and let's see, when you bring your volume down, now you don't like that sound, then you got to readjust things. That's the only thing. Yep. Eddie Fitzgerald. Yep. That was a great song, man. Yeah, the Edmund Fitzgerald. Wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald. See, I grew up on all that stuff. Listening to an AM radio and all of that stuff, man. There was no shredding there. It was just good music. And that's what I mean. When I started, my first impressions of guitar was, God, I was like 6 years old, 1969, apartment complex we lived in had a courtyard, little court area, and these hippies that lived there brought their guitars and plugged in the amp and the drums, and I can't remember exactly how if they sounded good or if they didn't sound good. I was just a little kid, but that impact it had on me never left me. So I always have that same impact, whether I get on YouTube channels, watch people play, or I see people play live. It's that instant impact right there. That's my first impression. And then if someone's being an ass, or if they don't practice and they sound bad and they want to sound bad, that's something totally different. But doesn't mean it does not still inspire me. It's just that first boom, that first impression. You know, because it never left me. And see, I tend not to use the drives on many multis. Yeah, and Great Vanzini, I know you mentioned that you collect some of the multi-effect units. I'll tell you what, they do have a great convenience. The great convenience is, as opposed to having a whole bunch of separate pedals with chords going in and out and in and out and something happening. Oh, what's patch chord is it? I don't know which one. Okay, but see, here's the catch 22. On a multi-effect, if something goes wrong, the whole thing is out. On some of them, the whole thing could be totally out. Whereas if it's one pedal, you just pop that out and replace it with another pedal. That, and another thing with pedals, you could space them out. You could have them close to one another or space them out, so that if you're wearing shows that have wide toes, you don't step on anything. It depends what you use. Now, here's the thing with what I do like about effect units that have speaker sims. And this is actually the first time I seen Steve Stein. He was doing a demo of the Digitech cab driver pedal. And he had made this comment about certain churches, because he does the church gigs too. He said they won't let you bring amps on stage, so you have to run it in direct. Now, with the exception of the Warehouse Church in Aurora, Illinois, I used to go to when we were up there, we did quite a few gigs there and played with the church bands, and they rotated. And it's more like a heavy metal type of a gig. Some days it is, some days it is, but they'll let you bring an amp on stage. But some of the other churches, they won't let you do that. They want you to go direct. So that's why it's good to have a good unit that could go direct. But now here is the problem with some of these units that are monsters. You cannot break, if it's all in one, look at the size. The Helix, it is a great pedal. And I'm talking about the flagship. The Helix and the Headrush. Thank God they make smaller versions of it. But if you just have that big Helix, and some of these churches, you don't have that space. Some of the gigs, you don't have that space. You'll have your pedal there, and like the guys in this one band were talking about, yeah, some of the clubs will have you, it's like you're up against the wall, your pedal's there, and you're like this, and then people are walking right there. They're stepping on your chords, and all your output chords, because they're walking right there. Because these people don't pay attention. These at these bars. These people don't pay attention. Like, really? You can't see that there's something down on the floor? Oh, yeah, but I literally had a girl tell me this. And she, in her defense, she didn't know. She was young. She didn't understand. She goes, oh, well, you guys are rich. You could afford another one. No, we're not rich. We can't always, we're not there to be the punching bag. Play every song that you ever heard in every key and every version, and then play it at a drop of a hat. You're playing one song, and then in the middle, hey, could you play something else? No, stop, play something else. And it's like you feel like you're going like this constantly with your head. What do you want to hear? What do you want to hear? What do you want to hear? Oh, okay, stop. It's like this. I don't really like that. Some of these people that I'm hooking up with, They're going back to doing these stage shows. And if anyone does not understand the term stage shows, basically it's doing ticket sales. Now you could do either which is what we were going to do before this whole outbreak, shut everything down. You either rent the place out, or if it's like a place where it has a meal, you could buy the meal, and then you're selling the meal and the tickets. So it's like a dinner in a show or a lunch in a show. Whether you do your originals as like say jazz or funk music, if you know how to do this, you could sell it, because you're still gonna have those people that they miss those days that they would go out. Your true music lovers. They're not there to see a cover band, and they don't care about that. They're to see the music. They're there for the music. They have a specific criteria. If it's a jazz band, they want to see a jazz band or a jazz fusion band. They're very specific in their style of music they want to see. So they're not looking for the latest and greatest song on the radio. They still like that, but their thing is, hey, I want to go see. I want to see some music. I want a specific. It's like you go to a classic car show. This is how disappointing this would be. You go to a classic car show. You expect to see cars from anywhere from the 30s, even the 20s, the 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, your classic cars, some of the 70s. But how disappointing would that be? You go to a classic car show, and you're seeing anywhere cars from 2015 up to now. That ain't classic. I mean, they're nice, but where's the old, Mustang, Shelby Mustangs from, with the fastback, and the old Barracudas, and the Ford Torinos, where are those cars? You know what I mean? That's what you're there for. So likewise with music, you have that. So that's what we're going to do, with our guitar show. But now these guys are talking about going and doing like a specific tribute artist. We've also done that as well. So it's a very specific artist you're covering. You get the permission to do it. You're good to go. And you could walk away with some serious money, my friends. Serious money that these bars will never be able to pay. Plus, if you're doing a specific artist or even a specific era, you are not going to have to worry about someone requesting, dude, could you play Slayer's Rain in Blood? Well, no, we're doing a Karen Carpenter tribute. Oh, that sucks. Well, if you don't like it, that's fine. You could see me at the bar. I'll be at that bar 2 weeks from now, and I'm playing in a metal band. We'll play all the Slayer you want. That's different. But with this show, this is what it is. Or if you could do a Santana, or whatever the case might be. The people that go to those shows, they're there to see something specific. Chances of them, they'll do it maybe as a joke, but they're not going to bust your nuts saying, come on, I want you to play Freebird. I want you to play, Sweet Home Alabama. I want you to play this song or that song. But you're there either spotlighting a specific artist or a specific style of music. So chances of those people doing that to you are going to be slim to none. And this guy was talking about doing a 2-hour show. He showed me, I'm going to tell you, I'm not going to tell you his name because I don't have the permission. I'm going to tell you what he told me, and I hear him loud and clear. He tells me he gets a phone call. And I hope he doesn't get mad at me saying this, because he's a good guy. I'm gonna say this because a lot of us have gone through this. A lot of you people have probably gone through this too. So you get the phone call. Hey, do you like let's say, do you like the Monkees? I'm not gonna say any, but let's say, are you a big Monkees fan? Hey, we're the Monkees. And you say, oh man, I can't stand that band. I hate that band. Well, you kind of look like this guy, and we're putting this together, and you're in the area. Would you want to check it out? Well, not really. You don't really like them, do you? No, not really. I'll tell you what. I'm gonna give you an idea how much you're gonna make. Your starting pay is gonna be $900. When can I join? Oh, I'll be there in 10 minutes. Click. You see what I mean? Money is a motivator. If my advice for people who are putting together anything like that, find an artist that you could at least tolerate. You kind of like some of their stuff if you wanted to do this, if you had to do this. Because there's nothing worse than you're doing every Friday and every Saturday for a year straight, you get the burnout syndrome, bam, like that. And then you're playing songs that you can't stand to listen to. And God, was it painful for you to listen to learn how to play it. Now you got to go up there with a phony smile on your face. Yeah, I kind of like it. It's kind of, and you find out, hey man, he said he was going to pay us $100 each, but he had to drop it down to $75 a piece. Will you still do the gig? We got to play 4 hours, by the way. And you get the French fries for free, but the hamburger you got to pay for, and you get one soda for free. But everything else you got to pay for, and it's only $75. It used to be $100, but it's $75. You guys probably been in a situation, and your level of enthusiasm goes like, well, at least I'm not working a day job, and I'm playing music. But then you get to the gig, and after you're done, let's say 2 months straight through, it's like, damn, I gotta go to the gig tonight. Can I call in sick? No. Okay, so you're enthusiastic. Then that's when you say, man, I wish I would have kept my job. At least I would have made more money than this. And then in the bedroom, I could put up YouTube videos and play what I want. You know what I mean? So there's nothing worse than going through that. However, when you do these stage shows, and if you have to do the tribute acts, okay, there's plenty of artists out there that you're going to like doing. And again, if you get the okay, everyone's cool with it. No one's going to give you a problem. You're not going to get Guido from, BMI with his boys out there in the clubs that's going to bust your kneecaps and they got the cement shoes and feed you to the alligator. You're not going to get that. So, okay, you're good to go. That's not a bad gig to do when it's the stage shows, because now you got something specific. And there are times it could be hit or miss. But I'm going to tell you, when you hit those good times, here is what I could tell you what we've done. And you could do the math. And Deb has said it's been more than that too. But what I can remember is selling something like 275 tickets at $35 a pop and selling out. And then and that was gross. So even our net was a hell of a lot more than doing some of these nights at these so-called clubs with the booking agent, that's going to get you somewhere. Yes, you're going to get somewhere. Hold off. You might open up for the Has-Been Band from, like 1972. That was on KTEL Records. You could open up for the Has-Been Band. And I don't mean to be disrespectful or anything, but some of these people, they try to pump you up like that. Whoa, go ahead and quit. Shut your job, your business down. You're an electrician. Shut your electrician business down and only do this. Don't do that. You're going to need that backup. You're going to need that money. And now it's talking with the open up for the Has-Been Bands. Now, if you want to, with these stage shows, this is where you can make some serious money, but just make sure and then when you do traveling, try to travel frugally, cheap. And I'm not trying to, I'm saying don't, stay at the Bed Bug Inn, as soon as you walk in, you think something, crawled on you or something. Don't do that. But don't try to be the rock star and get the presidential suite that costs you like $250 an hour to stay there, and it takes you an hour to unload all your baggage, and the guy's calling you on the phone or knocking on the door. Hey, there was another $250. So you better, if you can't afford, if you have to ask how much it costs to stay here, you cannot afford it. Period. So don't put yourself to the poorhouse. But you'd be amazed at what you could do if you do this smart. Because it blew my mind. And listen to this. We were using the Harbinger, the cheaper Harbingers that cost like $250, brand new, for the 15-inch speakers. And I think first we had the Behringer mixer, and then we got like another mixer, real small. What people would say, oh, that's good if you're going to practice in your garage. You're going to practice. And it is nice, okay? We would use that type of a gear and the Digitech and make this money. So it was great. It was great. You could do this with cheap gear, my friends. So anyways, I'm glad you guys stuck around and got interrupted and came back on. I'm gonna go ahead and shut this down. But yeah, we will be gigging next Saturday unless something does happen that we can't. Okay, but we'll be gigging next Saturday. I'll put the post up, and I'm glad you guys like this. You know, you can see what you do with this pedal and all that. And that you guys stuck around. So, anyways, my friends, we will talk to you. Till next time, you stay safe, you stay true, rock on, and God bless you, my friends. Take care.